Yeah, they're like little things like
fuzzy outfits or whatever.
They're Furbies.
Basically, yeah, they're like new age Furbies.
Yeah.
They'll be valuable someday, trust me. Did you know that Jack in the Box has their own version of a Labubu?
No.
I saw it posted on social media, and I think they just came out with it like last week or something, but as of this recording. But they're called Jibbies. So I thought the concept of a Labubu was pretty dumb. Like I'm like, I personally, I don't get the appeal of these, but I think because I'm a millennial and I grew up with like the Jack in the Box like antenna balls, this shit takes me back.
Oh, dude. Thank you. Because I was like looking it up right now. I was like, I got to see this. Oh my gosh. No way. No way. Who is on their marketing team? Pay them more. Do not lose this person. I can't wait to see what I just saw a brief thumbnail and I'm like, if this is what I think it is, and you saying it's the antenna ball, add a little freaking suit or whatever.
Yeah, like a little fuzzy suit, and it still has a little hat.
But it's a keychain.
Yeah, and he's holding a burger.
I love both how cool. I love both the throwback to the Jack in the Box ball that you could put on your antenna, and or
because who has those anymore, right? Like there aren't really antennas anymore, so you can't really put a antenna ball on those anymore.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, who uses antennas and antennae? Anyway, it's always in the middle of the car, like toward the back now, and they're like way more powerful than the silly ones we used to have.
Yeah, the little flimsy ones.
The little flimsy fucking that and so this reminds me of both that and the 70. You either had that or you had the 76 ball, right? A lot of people had that.
Oh, true. Yeah, the orange.
Yeah, but this is knucking futz, dude. I love it. It's
pretty freaking adorable. And so just because of this, you can only get these if you get like some sort of like chicken supreme munchie meal thing. So I didn't even know what the hell was in the box, but when I rolled up to Jack in the Box the other day, I was just like, let me get like 2 of them.
What'd you get?
We got the purple suit. Yeah, I guess you can collect 4 of them. There's like a purple, orange, blue, and then a jibby of Jack in a suit.
In a suit.
I kind of like that we got matching ones because then like we can both hold on to them, and it's kind of like a reminder of each other. So
oh, that's really cute. I love that. Wow. You're making me kind of want to get one now because I think I like it because it's nostalgic. It reminds me of times past, but also kind of pokes fun at what's popular now. And so it's kind of like jumping, not just poking fun, but kind of jumping on it a little bit, like oh well, we see you and we raise you. I see your whatever it is,
the Labubus,
your hoinky doinks, yeah, and
we raise you a jibby.
A jibby.
To be honest, like as a kid growing up with Jack Box, I guess is the official name. He was like the fake satirical CEO of Jack in the Box. He's just like a guy in a suit with a giant ass bobblehead thing, and it's fucking weird, but people just rolled with it.
I forget I don't even know what advertising agency did that, but again, hats off to them because they milked that for all it was worth. I mean, I think they still run obviously they're still running campaigns because they still have him there, but like his deadpan humor, oh my gosh, so funny. But that I can't forget about Jack.
I mean, he was a cool concept, and he was one of the cooler mascots, I guess you could say, like way cooler than like Ronald McDonald. I don't know. He was just kind of like a badass CEO, but he was also the mascot of the company. So it was almost like the company was made in his image.
I inherited, or I am this. This is me. What you have is me. And yeah, as opposed to Ronald McDonald just kind of being like slapped onto the McDonald's thing, it's just kind of not a terrible concept, but yeah, certainly not nearly as cool. Very, very more like related to the kids. Whereas I feel like Jack was always supposed to be like tongue in cheek, like, yeah, I'm the mascot, but really I'm for the adults.
I can see that. Also, I feel like that may have been the inspiration for the King, the Burger King.
Oh, I think 100%. And the same kind of dry humor and randomness of shit. Just
that was even more unsettling because he never said anything. He was just there.
True. He just there with this fucking huge grin with like teeth and shit. Not just like this drawn on like smiley face.
He was a towering figure too. That dude was probably like 7 feet tall.
Yeah, huge,
It was
huge.
giant ass
They
head.
had this whole video game for him too, I think.
Yeah.
I and my brothers showed me that shit, and I was like, no fucking way.
So I guess the only thing left to ask is, are we mobbing it?
Oh, we mobbing it.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be doing the intro this time. Welcome to Aflixionados podcast, episode 64. Get your minds out of the gutter. Our show is available wherever you get your podcasts, and new episodes drop on the first Saturday of each month, 5 a.m. Pacific. All our social accounts are bundled together for you in our link tree. If you enjoy the content, please consider giving us a like and subscribe. Now, the voice you are hearing belongs to, well, me. I am a reader of books, not all are leather bound, a philosopher and singer and future librarian. I am Job. No, I am Michael Espinoza. And the other voice occupying your ear holes, you've known him for many years now as the showrunner of this podcast, the man behind the curtain, as it were. He's a man with a taste for music as eclectic as his taste for movies. A man who occasionally dives into the sky for fun, or in a tube, as it were. A man who's not only a proud dog dad, but a man who possesses encyclopedic knowledge of classic MMA fights. And I kid you not, he really does. Don't at him. The gory ones, especially. Yes, he is the inimitable, the incomparable Eric Holmes.
How you doing?
Here on Aflixionados podcast, we mainly talk about films that range from mind-numbing to mind-blowing. From time to time, we also cover TV shows and other forms of media. We will be getting into spoilers here, and there will be only the healthiest amount of expletives tossed in. You have been warned. If you ain't ready, then get ready, because in this episode, we will be discussing the epic, violent, action-packed martial arts film Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair. Originally released in 2006 and directed by none other than Quentin Tarantino.
Man, I am stoked for this one. Obviously, as you can tell by the title, we're not doing just volume 1 or volume 2. We're doing both of them.
Both dams. Hell yeah. Oh my gosh. The Whole Bloody Affair. Dude, we fucking went. I'm so glad you told me about this and we're like, we gotta go. I was like, fuck yeah, let's do this. We sat and watched The Whole Bloody Affair in this cute theater. The OG Harkins in our area.
Oh yeah.
And wow, dude. What a day. That will go down in my, I will remember that on my deathbed. That was such a fucking cool experience. Seriously, like I journaled about it.
It was a lot of fun. Oh shoot, you gotta. I mean, if you want to share it, like send me some photos of it because I think that'd be really cool.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like you said, it was a really cool experience, and stuff like that doesn't come around very often. So I do try to go out of my way to actually experience that, because I feel like the last time Tarantino did something like that was probably Grindhouse. That was the double feature where he teamed up with Robert Rodriguez, and they both kind of had like that B movie sort of contribution. And the Grindhouse experience was both of the movies back to back, but they also reached out to other directors and had them create like some sort of trailer. I just loved the whole package. Like it was so cool. Like I didn't come from that time, but I went with my dad and he was able to attest to like how these movies would be the ones that you would see in those Grindhouse theaters, like just shitty low budget movies, right? But they're cheap. So that's why you would go to those, is because it's like, hey, let's just go have a fun experience watching these shitty movies for like $2, right?
Yeah. No
in the janky ass theater. I love just experiencing things that are just out of the ordinary like that, you know? And so this one is I guess not so much a double feature, but it's just the whole story nonstop without splitting them up into separate movies. So The Whole Bloody Affair, of course, is a re-release of Kill Bill Volume 1, which originally came out in 2003. and Kill Bill Volume 2, which came out the following year. Combining those into a single movie, not only is it like the regular movies, but they also extended some of the scenes, and they added like a whole new scene in the anime section. And that was probably, I would say, like the most significant thing that they added to the whole bloody affair was that extra anime sequence.
Ah, man, it had been so long. I think I only saw it through one time. I saw it in theaters when it was released in 2003. This movie has such a place in my heart. You know, I was at the time accepted into the Art Institute in Santa Monica. I was going to be going to their video production program, and I was just, that movie was everything. And I graduated from high school in 03. So it was like the world was our oyster, and we are going to be in movie making or you know, video making or whatever. And so that movie, seeing that was so deeply inspirational, all of it, and just the feel of it. And I to me, I just thought, I don't know if I could appreciate it as much without seeing it in theaters again. So seeing it that one time was awesome. I might have seen it twice actually in theaters, but either way, seeing it again this time, oh God, it's the way it has to be watched. It was so amazing. But the scenes, I didn't really notice too many differences. It was so subtle, but it all felt so appropriate. I think that's what's so important about something like a quote unquote like a director's cut or whatever. Sometimes when it's the director's cut, they add way more stuff in that just takes away from the story. It's like, oh, it would have been, even knowing this little expository information, gives a little background or whatever, is not as good as keeping it shorter and tighter.
Exactly.
This didn't bleed out. This didn't give too much. I thought the pacing was incredible. I couldn't believe there was never a point in time where I was like looking at my watch going like, oh, and when are we going to leave? It was so well done. Like, oh, it's already intermission. It's already, the first part's done. Wow. This is crazy.
Yeah, just breeze through it. To your point, I think the pacing is often what kind of gets sacrificed when you have those like extended cuts or like director's cuts or wherever the case. And for me, the example that always rises to the top when I talk about like director's cut not being it, and I choose the theatrical version over that, is Donnie Darko. I did not like how they were intersplicing like a side story on top of the main story, and it just completely killed the pacing.
I have not seen the director's cut, and now you're telling me this, I'm glad I haven't, because Donnie Darko is great.
Most people have trouble sitting through a 3-hour movie. 4 hours sitting in one spot is out of the question. Physically incapable of doing that.
Yeah. I mean, with the intermission, it definitely helps. To be able to have seen the movie the way he had intended it to have been seen, where it was all just one after the other, you know, and it just flowed so seamlessly. You get the full picture, you get all the details. It'll be weird to watch it again unless it comes out on Blu-ray as the whole bloody affair. Which I hope it does. That would be so badass.
I imagine they would.
I would love it because of all the scenes that you mentioned before that were all the parts that were included now as that were excluded before. Yeah, it would be worth it, especially with a decent sound system.
I guess the story was just getting so long in the tooth that Miramax, well, specifically Harvey Weinstein. Yes, that Harvey Weinstein, because he's the co-founder of Miramax. He opted to cut the movie in half because Tarantino just had a hard time figuring out like what he wanted to cut, because he didn't want to cut anything. And so Tarantino was open to the idea of doing 2 volumes because that meant that he got to keep most of what he wanted in there.
Brilliant. Yeah. You give exactly. And then they get to cash in twice now on the same one pick.
True. Yeah. Which
makes sense. That's cool. Who doesn't want to catch the end of it and see the end of the saga? But to have seen it, man, it's fun, but it's also heartbreaking. There's so much to that movie that I didn't remember, that watching it, I got choked up several times. I was just like, fuck, this movie hits in a way that I was not expecting to, because when you're in 03, I was, I don't know, I was still a teenager, and I was not nearly, I did not have as much life experience as I have now. and to just be able to relate to it in a different way from a different perspective.
You know what kind of turned me away from it was the fact that it was martial arts focused. Tarantino's a fan of old school martial art movies, and so he wanted to kind of like do something to pay homage to that,
Mm-hmm.
almost like reintroduce like a newer audience to it, right? I'm not clamoring for those types of movies. And so I was a big fan of Tarantino's earlier stuff. And then when I saw Kill Bill was coming out, I was a little hesitant at first. I remember that feeling that as a kid where I'm like, it's martial arts. Like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. And then, but you know, as a Tarantino fan, I wasn't like a diehard fan back then, like not as much as I am now, but back then I was a pretty big fan. And so I at least gave it the benefit of the doubt, and I was like, oh, let me just check it out. And you know, it's a Tarantino film, it might be fun, and ended up loving it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. First of all, how dare you? How dare you, sir? But no, that's cool that you it was enough for you to be like, I'll give it a shot. You know, you're not, dude. I, on the other hand, grew up watching some of those martial arts films. My uncle, one of my uncles, was like super into Bruce Lee and showed us. I think he had a laser disc player, and I think he had a laser disc of
disc.
yeah.
High
The
tech.
3 that he had were dope, and one of the 3 was Enter the Dragon. So we watched Bruce Lee, and I mean that's the one. If you're gonna watch any Bruce Lee film, Enter the Dragon, please God. So if any of you out there have not seen a Bruce Lee film, see that one. But it's I mean I have not yet seen a grindhouse movie, what you would consider a grindhouse movie, so I don't know if it's like that. It's akin to that, but the graininess of the film, the dubbing, like all of it is just so fun. It's like it's engaging, and I don't know, it's believable. Especially as a kid, you're just thinking, what the hell, he fucking kicked him that far and stuff. And I mean, I don't
the sound
know,
effects, right?
the sound effects, all of it, you know. Just the way they fall over, like, oh my god, my dome.
Was that the one with where he fights Chuck Norris, or is that a different movie?
I think that might be the sequel to that one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think that's the sequel. But in the first one, it's the one where he fights that guy who has like these claws, like these, yeah, and there's all this like, the end sequence is so bitchin'. It's like this hall of mirrors and stuff, and so he's like, the image is being refracted, and so he's kind of like looking around. He doesn't know where the guy's going to come from. He's in this guy's territory, so this guy, the main bad guy, is like got the upper hand here, but
almost like doing some guerrilla warfare with him.
Yeah, exactly. Just like
popping in and out,
and he's getting his licks in before Bruce Lee figures it out, but how to best him. But going from that to then seeing something like Kill Bill, it felt familiar. It felt like, oh my gosh, this is somehow like tapping in, just like, I don't know, right?
The cheesy music at times, yeah.
Yeah, that alarm. And you see that strip of the eyes, and then the other person's strip of the eyes, and then it's just dun, 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 dun. Like you knew it was fucking on. So anyway, that feeling, the whole setup with the music and all of it, and the cuts, quick cuts, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, there's this so good. Kill Bill.
Oh yeah. Something I didn't even know until I looked it up, but it originally came out in 2006 during the Cannes Film Festival. Strange that it took so long for it to actually hit theaters, right? As like one single package, because even in video format, like physical media, they don't even have it as one. Like I think they're separate movies that they might sell together, and it's like, hey, have the, you know, buy both of them or whatever. That was even how it was packaged during the Cannes Film Festival, was the whole bloody affair. People that actually went to that film festival saw it that way. And then here we are years later, and they finally decide to release it in theaters that in that same package. So I thought it was really special, and I'm glad that we got to see it.
Me too. What a privilege. Honestly, what a privilege, because it was not in theaters for a very long time, and it was an anniversary. I mean, almost 20 years if it was released in 2006. I mean, we're in 2026 now, so it's basically 20 years. Incredible. What a treat. Like what a fun time, what a fun way to spend the day, those 4 hours in that theater with a bunch of other people who I saw so many young people there. And I don't know if they had seen it before, or if some of these people were seeing it for the first time, but just kind of living vicariously through them in some ways.
Yeah.
Because this was a cultural phenomenon when it hit theaters in 2003.
When they released the title and it was Kill Bill, I'm like, that's kind of a whack name. But then over time, like as you get older, like it just rolls off the tongue so easily, and it's like you immediately know what movie. Kill Bill.
2 syllables, Kill Bill. Absolutely. I just loved it. I loved that motorcycle one piece that she wore. It was fucking sick with the helmet, all of it. The music was huge. We used to listen to the soundtrack. I bought the soundtrack, and my homie and I, we would drive to school, and on the way to school, we would pop that in from time to time.
So the way that we're not gonna do it linear style. In typical Tarantino fashion, this movie's in non-linear format, and they each have a chapter. So we're just gonna go through each of the chapters, and they'll have names and all that stuff. So we'll let you know when we switch from one chapter to the next. But it starts off with the prologue, and it's a black and white opening shot of the bride, played by Uma Thurman. A lot of it is you kind of have to just rely on the lighting, because since it's black and white, you're not getting the colors or anything like that. You're not able to identify a lot of the fine details. So she is supposed to be bloodied, beaten, and it seems like she's about to die. It seems like something terrible just happened, and we're like kind of catching the tail end of it. And she's like breathing heavy and all that stuff. It's also important to mention that she's going to be referred to as the bride for Volume 1 because they don't give her a name. Like when they mention her name, it's bleeped out. So, and that's also another weird concept, right, to put in this movie, is like, not only do you just not write in them saying her name, but when they say her name, it's this freaking loud, audible bleep. It's kind of jarring at first when you hear it, and you're like, was that supposed to be in there? Like, is this messed up?
And it's not like a cursing beep either. It's like it's its own thing. It's got its own. There's almost like a hum to it, like a bassy hum to it. Boop, and you're like, oh, but you still see their lips moving, and it just drives this interest. You're like, I want to know more. I who is this person? Why are they blocking her name out? Yeah. So if nothing else, you're still hanging around for who the hell is she?
Makes her so mysterious, right?
Yeah.
Who is this nameless protagonist? And that's kind of a trope that older movies did play, like the Clint Eastwood movies, right? Like that character didn't have a name. And so it was just like the man with no name.
Oh yeah, exactly. But it doesn't settle with us. Like we want to name things as human beings. We want to name, and it's almost like to know her name is to kind of know her. But it's almost like he's toying with that a little bit. Like you don't know her. You may think you do, but you don't. And eventually it is revealed, and it's almost like, well, by then you do know her pretty well. You've seen at least the shit she's been through. So it's almost like you've earned it, sort of like you've been through some shit with her. But I love that it's bleeped out, because if nothing else, it just adds a fun little texture to the experience. Instead of just giving people what they want when they want it, like just withholding just a little bit, and it gives you an idea of the kinds of things he may withhold from you throughout. Just a little foretaste of those things, and he does.
A lot of it is it's like leave him wanting more, right? And so he's able to, and that's what I love with the pacing of Kill Bill, is that he's so restrained in most of the movie, right? And so he's like, you're gonna get it, trust me, like the payoff's coming, but you gotta earn it. And it's just like, fuck, just give it to me.
You don't see him for so long. You see his hand, you see him tapping his cane, you see him gesturing, but like you're like, who is this guy?
You hear Bill, but you don't ever in the first movie, you don't see him at all. You see his hand, and you see, like you said, the cane, his foot or something, right? But you don't see him. That makes him mysterious as well. And this whole organization is mysterious.
Yeah.
And I love it, because it's like they're like spoon feeding you the details, but it's like you gotta take your time with it. You gotta be patient. And even this opening shot, like it's the whole time is focusing on the bride's face, and she's just kind of like, she's all beaten and bruised, and she's breathing heavy, and she's just kind of looking at the camera. You hear that there's someone behind the camera, right? You hear footsteps kind of like slowly approaching, and it's just sitting there on her face, and it's uncomfortable to watch, and she's scared in this moment, right? Like she doesn't know what's going to happen, and he's just kind of so nonchalant about it, and it shows you that, like, man, this Bill motherfucker, like, he seems pretty sadistic.
Yeah.
10 seconds into the film, and it's like, damn, this Bill guy seems like he's a sick motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. There's no empathy on his end for this woman, because like seeing a badly battered woman that way, it's like you said, it's hard to see, hard to look at, and you can't help but want to help or empathize. And then you just see him he tries to wipe, but that's it. He's just real cold.
Mm-hmm. Puts the gun barrel to the side of her temple, and as he's pulling the trigger, she reveals that, Bill, it's your baby. Boom. Cuts away, and the opening song, which is like such another cool aspect of the
Mm-hmm.
film, and like it just like pulls you into the atmosphere of like what we're about to get into. But the song is called Bang Bang, My Baby Shot Me Down by Nancy Sinatra, and it gives it this eerie feel to it, you know, because it's like, holy shit, what the hell did I just watch? And then it goes into this kind of like slow, you know, dramatic song.
Yeah, it's it's beautiful. You think about the collaboration between the artists that made that song as well, because it is Nancy Sinatra, like in her prime, great voice. And it's Dick Dale on the guitar, and Dick Dale is the king of surf guitar. So he's the same guy who does the actually, it's the Pulp Fiction song.
Oh, okay.
He did that one, and he's done a lot of, you just think of surf guitar, that's always him. So to have him, he's not doing any fast picking at all or fast strumming. It's just like this very methodical, just woeful, you know, tune, and it just lets it reverberate, and it just hangs. I was 5 and he was 6. We rode on horses made of sticks, and there she is laying she's laying on her back, and you're just seeing the silhouette of her. Yeah, and it's just so minimal, and
it kind of reminded me almost like Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, there it is, exactly. And it's somber, it's gorgeous. It's so beautiful. He has so many shots in this movie that are just absolutely exquisite. There's one later on that I told you about that just always gets me.
Yeah.
And that's, I think I got choked up also because of the fact that I couldn't believe I was experiencing all of this again in theater again. It was just like, what the fuck? This is so cool. But anyway, so yeah, on the so there she is laying on her back, and we're hearing this dope song, Bang Bang.
Yeah, cool song. And so we go into chapter 1, title 2, which is it can be pretty confusing, but man, we get right into the action. So it almost in like the middle of the story, it seems like, and we see this obnoxiously yellow truck roll up, and the bride gets out, walks up to the door, knocks on it, right, or rings a doorbell, whatever. And so as soon as the woman that lives in the house opens the door, there goes the eyes, right?
We be
the red superimposed eyes.
I love how she just calmly knocks the door on the door as if this woman isn't gonna fucking know shit's on. It's on.
And then they immediately proceed to just beat each other's asses here. Like they're not wasting any time.
No, any object in the room is a fucking weapon, and there's just glass everywhere. Furniture's fucking torn up. Oh my gosh.
Oh, and the person that she's fighting, by the way, her name is Jeannie Bell, but she formerly went by Vernita Green, which is the person that like she knew her as back in the day, right? When it shows the flashback. And her code name is Copperhead. So each of the characters are going to have a code name because that was what they were called when they were part of the deadly Viper assassination squad.
Different snakes.
And this character is played by Vivica A. Fox.
Vivica. So beautiful.
Who would have thought that? Vivica is a pretty badass like action star from what I can tell, because this fight looked pretty legit.
She was legit. And I mean, the only thing I had seen her in prior to that was Independence Day.
Very different character.
Very different character. And I think she was in a movie with Jamie Foxx. And I cannot remember. It was a funny one, or supposed to be funny. Anyway, So to see her in from like being you know, Will Smith's wife in Independence Day to then being this badass on screen, just like where,
Unexpected.
so
I was
cool.
quite impressed.
So I mean, same with Uma Thurman. I mean, who would have thought that she
Yeah,
would have that in her? We just saw, you know, we just talked about Gattaca recently, and
right.
she's just so elegant and
Or even Pulp Fiction, right? Like completely different character.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, I love it, love it, love seeing this happen right off the bat. We go from her getting shot in the head. We see the intro, we see the title, we see the credits a little bit, and then immediately she's fucking some chick up and getting fucked up too. She gets her, she takes her licks.
This is a brawl here. Like you can tell they're both professionally trained, but man, like it gets ugly, and sometimes, you know, fights, they're not always going to be pretty like these martial art movies, you know. It's not going to be
Yeah.
technique for technique. Like these girls are throwing each other through furniture and whatnot.
Yeah, it's kind of in that way, it's kind of akin to like the Born Identity, where anything becomes a weapon and it's brutal, and whatever you can, however you can best the other person, you fucking do it.
Yeah, honestly, like if you're in a fight to the death, like you're going to do whatever you need to do to win.
Exactly. Yeah.
Needless to say, they're thrashing this nice house. And it's just like a little peaceful suburban house, right? But man, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly. They're in Pasadena, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
I think
They're
you're
in
right.
Pasadena.
Yeah,
And she
yeah,
says something about, yeah, being on the PTA or I don't know, something like that.
I
But they're
think
in
you're right.
Pasadena.
And I think they do kind of mention something a little bit later that Vernita Green's specialty back in the day were knives.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because you see them at some point where they're at a stalemate because, you know, they've gone through the kitchen and through the formal dining room and back into the living room. Vernita has almost like a Michael Myers kitchen knife, right? And then,
Yeah.
you know, to kind of match that, the bride pulls out like a little knife out of her little sheath, and so they're like waiting for each other to make the first move. And as they do that, I love this side shot. Behind them is the window facing the street, like the front yard, and you see this bus roll up, and you know these kids get out of it, and straight up like
Yeah.
they're just kind of like awkwardly, like almost like looking out of the corner of their eye, you know, and like watching these kids walk up. And so yeah, this little girl walks up, she walks into the house, and as she does that, they hide their knives and they just kind of pretend to be friends.
Yeah. Put it behind their back and then just like, oh yeah. Meanwhile, there's like sweat and blood dripping from their faces, from their mouth, from their forehead, and
Yeah. Did you also notice the facial expression from Vernita? She kind of did this thing where she was like, come on, we can't do this in front of her.
Oh right, yeah. She looks at her like right moments before she opens the door and they hide their knives. She's like,
subtle, yeah.
don't do this. Like, come on. And then she's like, "Hi, baby." Oh, sweet. And yeah, she's all covered in sweat. Just puts on the whole persona.
That dog yours done act a fool.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, he did all this? I don't think so.
Yeah, and me and my friend here were just trying to catch him.
I mean, you know, she's not stupid. Like, she's naive, but she's not stupid.
No.
So she's just like, what the fuck happened?
I'm looking back at each of them. What's going on?
The daughter's name is Nakia. So she sends Nakia up to her room, and she's like, yeah, you know, don't come in here because there's broken glass everywhere. We're cleaning up, and then you can come down. And so as they do that, they're just like, hey, want some coffee? Yeah, I'll take some coffee. And so they just take a break from fighting.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's kind of like all of a sudden they're kind of like debating, like, oh, maybe we'll meet. They decide, well, let's meet somewhere then. We'll have it out
away from the house.
So that's kind of like, oh, they're both kind of like letting their guards down, it seems, and they're just like making small talk.
You can tell the tension's still there though, because
oh, it's absolutely still there. They don't trust each other.
They're still talking shit, but like in an inside voice.
Yeah, there's still definite tension there.
She's like, "Try me, bitch, anywhere."
Yeah, exactly. Anywhere, anytime.
Where do you want to die? You choose.
Yeah.
So they're talking shit, and I like it here too because Vernita's like, "Shit, Black Mamba. I should have been motherfucking Black Mamba."
Exactly. As she's making them coffee.
Yeah, I love that line. But yeah, that's where we find out the bride's code name. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's like, okay, so Vernita's Copperhead, and then the bride is obviously Black Mamba. So, and that's when you start kind of like understanding, okay, they all have like variations of snakes. So that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. They even say something about being the best. I think the bride says something about how she was the best. She admits that, you know, well, Bill always said you were the best best woman he ever saw with a knife.
And that's what's so cool about them talking about like where they're going to do this like duel to the death, is because this next part catches you off guard as she's preparing her daughter's cereal, right? Either like late lunch or early dinner or something.
Maybe like a little snack to have with her homework or
Yeah,
something.
something. Uh, the box of cereal is called Kaboom, by the way. And then like tries to shoot her through a gun in the cereal. She can't tell where the gun's aiming while it's inside the cereal box, and so it veers off to the side. The bride ends up getting the coup de grace by taking that knife, that little like knife that she had in her sheath, throwing it through her heart. And I thought it was cool because one, Vernita's not known for being a marksman, so obviously like you wouldn't expect her to get like this clean shot off. And then two, it's cool that Vernita was killed with her own specialty.
With the very thing she's the best
The
at,
Black Mamba bested her with her own weapon. So I was like, dang, that's pretty dope. I love how they did that.
Oh yeah, that was great. That was great. Dug it. And then she did.
She did.
And then her daughter comes downstairs after all that commotion. You know, gunshot. How are you not going to come downstairs? That's loud. And then so after all this effort to keep her away, it ends up going down right there in the kitchen after all, instead of this whole middle of the night, you know, in a park or whatever. It's there. And she just she talks to her like she's an adult. She talks to this little girl.
Very cold as well, right? Like,
it had to be done. It had to be done.
If you feel terrible about this, then come find me. I'll be waiting.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens then. So yeah, it's a pretty crazy conversation to have with a little girl, you know, like a little 6-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. Her mom is dead, and she's not like weeping bitterly or anything like that, which also kind of reveals that might actually happen later. That she can just take this information in. I mean, sure, maybe she's in shock too, but she's not.
I wonder if this is just like such a traumatic experience that she just doesn't know how to process it.
That's true too. She's just really like, yeah, this happened, and yeah, if
she doesn't respond or anything, right? She's just kind of like deer in the headlights.
That's it. Deer in the headlights, holding I think like a doll or a teddy bear, and she's like, if you still feel sore about it, or something like that. If you still feel sore about it, find me. Come find me.
Damn. Obviously, if Tarantino were to make a sequel to Kill Bill, and I think most fans have agreed with this, you would play it off of an adult Nakia avenging her mom's death. Like, it seems like that would be the most obvious way to go.
Yeah, that would be, but even up against an older The Bride, she would not have gone through the same training because things happen to prevent her from ever learning from that person.
Yep.
So she learned from the best, and it ended with her.
And as she leaves, she hops in this yellow truck, and as she drives away, we see that the back of it says Pussy Wagon. Again, like, we're dropped in the middle of the story. Someone just got killed, and she drives off, and it just leaves you with so many questions early on, right? Like, what the fuck is this truck that she's driving? Like, is this her signature truck? Why is her name bleeped out? What are all these people on her hit list? Because she crossed off Vernita, which was number 2. That's why the chapter is called 2, is because that was the second person on the hit list. And you can see O-Ren Ishii is the first one crossed off. So that's the first one that she took out. Who the fuck is that?
Yeah, it's all this information. So I mean, just so much information is coming at you that when you've seen the movie before, it just has an even bigger impact, because you're like, oh my gosh, these are little like Easter eggs, you know?
Right? You know, it's like, oh, you're gonna find out who that is soon enough,
and in plain sight. You know, it's like right there in front of you. I had no idea.
Oh, which reminds me, apparently I didn't even notice this, but a lot of fans have eagle eyes. It reveals the bride's name on her plane ticket when she goes to Tokyo. You know, she's just like, one way to Tokyo.
That's
and then
right.
It just shows the plane.
Yeah.
If you're looking for it, it was right there.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to wait.
So that was chapter 1. On to chapter 2, the blood-splattered bride. And by the way, I'm the notes that I sent you, I'm spelling it in a way that it's listed on the title card in the movie. And it kind of bugs me because blood splattered isn't capitalized, but bride is all caps.
Ah, yes. Yeah. Exactly.
That's just the way they did it. And the thing is, it's not consistent. So like the third chapter, that one actually is like capitalized properly.
I love that you're respecting that that's how he wanted it done.
Yeah. So chapter 2 is the blood-splattered bride. A quick flashback sequence kind of showing a little bit of what happened at this chapel out in the middle of the sticks, right? In the middle of nowhere. These two local sheriffs are surveying the scene, and it shows a bride and like a whole like wedding party just massacred. They put a the sheriff mentions, hell, they even shot the colored fella who played the organ. That happens to be played by Samuel Jackson. So I just want to give him a shout out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they're kind of like talking over the bride, and it's like, hey, ain't that the prettiest bride you've ever seen or whatever? And then she spits in his face, and so he's just like, hey, you know what? Cocksucker ain't dead.
That's
so,
right.
That's when you find out that she was shot in the head and somehow survived. And so that's when the whistling scene comes in, because we see this lady with an eye patch whistling this tune, and you know, she's just kind of like casually walking down the hallway, no one's questioning her. And I like the way that's doing these cuts, like the edit cutting between Elle walking towards the screen and like the bride laying comatose,
helpless
in this impending doom.
Yeah.
Elle Driver, her full name, her code name is California Mountain Snake, and she is also a member of the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad, played by Daryl Hannah.
Yeah, from Splash.
Which is pretty badass, because this is another character that or another actor where you're like, who the fuck would have thought that she could be a pretty badass action villain?
Yeah, it gave so many people a moment to show some of their skills.
Hell yeah.
Another facet to their capabilities.
It must have been fun, right, for these actors, because it's like they're playing roles that they wouldn't normally be cast in.
Yeah, just stretching their limits.
And when she slips into one of the little like patient room, or if it's just like a little supply closet, goes from her normal clothes to this nurse outfit. And I thought it was funny because it's more of a costume than anything.
Yeah, it's definitely not what the actual nurses are wearing. Like they're wearing scrubs and shit, and she's got like this white outfit with the white cap on.
It's almost like a stripper nurse outfit.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of like a dress, and it's got a fake belt printed onto the dress.
Oh my gosh.
And the eye patch, even, it's white and it has the red cross over it. So stupid.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, too cute.
So yeah, and it shows her, you know, loading up this syringe, and you're like, oh no, can't be anything good in there.
You're right. She's not intending well for whoever is lying for the bride.
A pretty interesting scene, because when she walks into the bride's room and she's about to inject her like IV, she's almost like saying something, like this little personal conversation that she's having with the bride, who's obviously not hearing it, she's unconscious, but she was basically saying that like how much she respects her. It's giving you some backstory for this character, because I think you're getting a sense of some sort of rivalry that they used to have, and she has this respect for her.
Yeah. Admitting it in the moment before she kills her.
Yeah.
In a weakened state.
She definitely seems really prideful, but it seems like because no one's around to hear it, not even her rival is even there to hear it. That's when she feels comfortable kind of admitting finally that, like, you know, I had a lot of respect for you, and it's a shame that you kind of have to go out this way, but orders are orders. And as she's about to inject that syringe, she gets a call. So she's like, fuck.
In 2003, we did not have iPhones. So it starts doing its little beeping, and she's like, oh, fuck, right now? What? And she just, so going from this whole moment has been building to this crescendo, and then all of a sudden just stopped.
Yep.
Like it's just completely, it's just so anticlimactic. Then all of a sudden she's off to the side and having this conversation with Bill.
We're finally introduced to Bill, but you only see his hand, and he's like kind of like stroking objects, right? Like he's like stroking the handle of his sword or whatever that's next to him. And Elle's the only one that I think he really talks to regularly, seems like almost like she's his right-hand man.
Right. Yeah.
Right-hand woman. I guess he was the one that decided that she deserved better. The bride deserved better than what they were doing to her. And she's just like, you don't owe her shit. And he's just like, listen, She already went through hell and back and somehow survived. She ain't getting out of this coma. If she does, we at least owe her the chance to be able to like find us after doing all that shit to her. And so she's like, God damn it.
Yeah, fine. We'll do the more honorable thing, even though he's not a very honorable person himself, which we of course find out later as well.
Right. And finishing off the conversation, the personal conversation that Elle had with the comatose bride, she's just like, I bet you thought that was pretty fucking funny, didn't you? And so again, I think that's showing a little bit of the dynamic between Elle and the bride from like back in the day. You get the idea that the bride was Bill's favorite and that he kind of leaned more on Elle after the bride kind of ran off and did her own thing.
Right. Yeah, she was playing second fiddle.
Mm-hmm. The bride, she lives to see another day. I think they end up relocating her to another room, like probably some like back room in the back of the hospital. And, they just keep her on life support and all that stuff. And maybe one day she'll wake up. And she does end up waking up after all. And it takes like a mosquito to kind of snap her out of this coma.
That's right. It's a real close-up of it too.
Mm-hmm. It's such a roller coaster of emotions here because she snaps awake. She's so disoriented. She doesn't know what the hell's going on. And then the last thing she remembers is the wedding was about to happen and she was pregnant. And neither of those are happening.
Yeah. Oh man.
Both of those are ripped away from her. She clasps her stomach and she starts just weeping and you really feel for her here.
That's it. Yeah, that was the first scene that got me pretty good. Just thinking about what she's going through. I think in the when I was a teenager, it wasn't quite the same. Couldn't quite get there, and I wouldn't let myself get there to empathize with what she must be going through. So yeah, that hit pretty hard.
Yeah, very emotional.
To just wake up that way, yeah, after all that time, and then just to be like, yeah, everything taken from her.
From this like emotional scene, it goes into disturbing because not long after that she hears some footsteps coming up, so she pretends to still be in a coma. We see this orderly named Buck that I guess has been taking care of her and keeping tabs on her, played by Michael Bowen. And he has this truck driver guy with him, some unknown truck driver guy, and he's explaining this side hustle that he's doing with the bride. So he's basically like selling her body so that way he can get some extra cash and like no one's going to know anything about it. And he's just kind of describing like, this is what you need to do. No physical marks, no biting or anything like that. She spits, so don't punch her in the face. You're just like, wow, this is really disgusting.
Yeah, absolutely. Terrible. And you're just like, oh my gosh, this has been going on this whole time. And now she's awake. So it's like, and she's of course here. Did she hear any of that?
Yeah, she's hearing it. And it kind of shows her face and she's trying to keep a straight face, but you can kind of see like her eyebrows like tense up a little bit.
Oh, right. Because he's not explaining this in the hallway. He's explaining this at the foot of her bed.
Right next to her.
He's hearing it all. And he's saying how she's sterile. They've taken all of the stuff, all
as he says, the plumbing don't work down there.
The plumbing don't work down there. That's right. Dang.
The way he's just like casually just talking about it. And he's like, all right, yep, we'll have fun. And gives the truck driver some Vaseline. There you go, if you need it.
Gosh. Terrible.
And and the way it zooms in, like he holds it and it's like fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it's all just
It looked like there was hair around it.
Yeah. Goof.
Oh, it's terrible. Is that the same actor? The one that's like,
That's it.
That is it. I thought I recognized him. Yeah,
exactly, from Waterboy. Yeah.
But yeah, he doesn't live very long. I think she ends up killing him by like ripping his lip off somehow.
Oh, she clamps on. He gets his face really close to her. He kind of crawls up, and then she bites his bottom lip. And then just you cut away and he's just bled out. That's really what happens. I don't know what else she might have done other than just like she basically tore his entire, from his lip, everything down to like his neck.
Oh, damn.
It's gnarly. Oh, my heart just jumped in my throat because that's just crazy.
Yep. So she throws him off, and she tries to flee, but like her legs don't work. Right. They've atrophied.
Right. So she's able to move from the waist up, and so she starts hearing other footsteps coming again. Got to find cover, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So she the guy gets steadily approaches. It's Buck.
Hey, big guy, you done?
That's right. That's right.
It's kind of gratifying because you're just like, yeah, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he walks in and he sees this like blood stained sheets or whatever, and like the trucker guy's laying on the floor, and he's like, oh shit. And then he gets his Achilles tendons cut with like a scalpel or something.
Beautiful. Oh, it's a thing of beauty. Man, she gets it. There's no walking away from this. This fool's fucking. He's not walking now. You're done. You're on my level, bud.
And then proceeds to start slamming the door up against his head
as she interrogates him.
Trying to. She's asking him where Bill is, and he's like, who the fuck is Bill?
He plays it so well too, the actor, because like as he's getting his head slammed, he's just getting more and more fucked up. Like just like you can see it's almost done.
When it's showing that other scene from like the top of his head looking into the room, did it look like his head was getting more narrow? It was almost like you can start slowly seeing his skull get crushed by the door.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and he's like, well, couldn't really talk much. And then what was it that he says that then she does give him the coup de grace and like just slams the fuck out of it.
Oh, she remembers. So I think she starts remembering what she heard from the past, and it was like from a while back when it was just him, and I think he was taking advantage of her himself. So he was just like, the name's Buck and I came to fuck. And so she recites that back to him, and he's just like, no. And then that's when she gives him the coup de grace.
That's right.
And then takes the keys out of his pockets and his clothes and stuff, right?
Yeah.
The keys, it has a keychain on it, and it says Pussy Wagon and like some like groovy font.
Mm-hmm. What does she say? She says something to that too. She's like, fuck.
Oh, she's disgusted by it. She's just like, Pussy Wagon, fucker.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, you fucker.
And gives him like one more for good measure.
Yeah. Even though he's fucking dead.
And it's one thing if you just have a keychain that says that, but she's in her wheelchair and she's looking for the vehicle, and she's like, oh, man, how am I going to pick this vehicle out from like this parking structure?
Yeah, she's using the alarm.
And then she just stops in her tracks, right? Looks at the keychain again, and it matches up with the paint job on the truck.
That's right.
And you have to know that he paid for it using her body.
Wow, exactly. How else would he have been able to, as an orderly, afford a custom job the way that he got it done? You're right. Oh, fucking disgusting. I actually hadn't put that together. Because I was actually going to joke about that. Like, how does an orderly have that? And you would have just answered it right there.
And naming it that, right? Like knowing what he was doing.
Exactly. Fucking idiot.
So, yeah, she climbs up into the back of the truck, and she is not going anywhere until she gets her legs in order. Because obviously she can't use her feet to drive. So she's like, all right, step number 1, wiggle your big toe.
Mm-hmm. That's why I named myself the toe.
The toe. I know that. You are the toe that wiggles.
That's right. And it said how many hours was she in the truck?
Just for one toe, she was sitting there for like a good 5 minutes, right? And just like, it's like slowly panning in on her face, and she's like, wiggle your big toe. It's zooming in on her feet as well. Got to have the feet shots. It's a Tarantino movie. And finally the big toe wiggles a little bit. So she's like, all right, cool. Hard part's over. And it was like 17 hours later.
That's what it was. 17 hours later. The rest, then she's ready to move.
Crazy.
Just the focus and the anger. She was driven. What must she have gone through? And we see this is only the tip of the iceberg. It's crazy shit, but like she's been through pretty much hell.
Oh yeah. Now we move on to chapter 3, the origin of O-Ren. So this is a little bit of a tonal change and style change as well, because this whole section is an anime.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, what did you think of it when you first saw the movie? Because this is the only anime section in the entire series, right? Like the entire like story of Kill Bill.
Yeah, I mean, it was very unexpected, and it was a pleasant surprise. It was strange that the story was being told this way, but it was, I was, like I said, pleasantly surprised, because as a kid, I loved watching anime. We were super into Dragon Ball Z in middle school, and we would try to catch new episodes on Toonami on the Cartoon Network. What was your thought? What were your thoughts when you saw the anime appear?
I thought it was interesting. Not only was I not into martial art movies back then, but I wasn't into anime movies either. And so
Interesting. Wow.
that wasn't anything that was like making me excited initially, but I appreciated it because not only can you make things more intense, but it's like you can just flat out do things that you couldn't do in live action. And
Mm-hmm.
so you can exaggerate a lot of the elements more. And that's what I appreciated about
Yeah.
the anime section.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, and if you and it's funny too because we haven't at this point in the movie seen a ton of gore. I mean, the knife in the chest wasn't really that gory. It was just done. It was over. Smashing the head, a little taste of it with the tearing off that fool's face with one bite,
Mm-hmm.
but this is a foreshadowing. This shows so much gore. The anime is just what I think about the anime scene as well is that it establishes a new precedent. The amount of gore that is now
Oh,
available,
interesting.
geyser of blood comes out of people's limbs or there's off of their stomach if they get cut in half from a sword or whatever. But it's like when you see this in cartoon form, it's not as much of a surprise that this level of gore exists.
It's very much preparing you for what's to come.
Yeah, setting it just a little bit.
Huh. Okay.
I hadn't
So
thought
that
of it
way,
literally till just now, but I was like, yeah,
yeah, that
kind
makes
of
sense.
felt that way.
Because if they went right into the gory scenes towards the end of the movie, then I felt like, yeah, it would be really jarring. But the fact that it's easing you in with this anime section, that's cool. I didn't think about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, before we get into this section here, I just wanted to say shout out to the artist that did the anime sequence in Kill Bill Volume 1. His name is Kazuto Nakazawa. Shout out to him because this is sick.
It is sick. It's not. It's his own style. Like it truly is his own style. It looks similar to some other stuff. Certainly not Dragon Ball Z, like I was saying before. Um, the way that he stretches limbs, and it's not the kind of comical type of anime either, with the big eyes and the
Pokemon or something.
right, like a Pokemon, exactly. It's not clean. It's blurry at times. And like I said, the way that characters look, they almost look far too elongated. It's almost like they're being stretched in the frame, but it feels appropriate and it feels dreamlike a little bit. And it feels like what we're seeing is something that only what we're seeing is what a child would imagine, what would be depicted in a child's imagination if they were remembering the sequence of events that traumatized them, that defined their life. Because there's a little bit more hyperbole, right? The amount of blood that comes out is very much like, as a kid you think, oh my gosh, it was just gushing and whatnot. And I think that kind of shows that. I think it gives license, it gives that creative space for these things that would be more difficult even to film, to be expressed
Mm-hmm.
and to be felt, and to give a taste of the culture as well, because she's Japanese. And what else I forget what
She's a Japanese Chinese American that took over the Yakuza organization.
right.
So that's pretty wild, just on multiple fronts. And she's a woman.
And she's a woman.
This is just a recount of what O-Ren has gone through. And it's interesting that O-Ren kind of has her own section before she's even introduced as a live action character, right? Like it wants to give you this backstory for a reason, because I think they want to, well, for one, they want to show you what she's capable of.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, I think they almost want to make her more of an empathetic character later on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because why else would you want to know her backstory, right? They go through the process of showing you her whole fucking journey.
Right. And you do appreciate the how, I mean, since, and Tarantino obviously knows this, but the protagonist is only as good as the antagonist is evil or difficult. We'll say difficult. So the more you build this person up, and also the dimensions that it adds to her, because she doesn't speak a whole lot in the film, Lucy Liu. It's or O-Ren Ishii. so much is shown of her life, and you get an understanding of how much of a badass she is, and also empathizing, like you said, with her, with what she's gone through. And then like you said, also running the Yakuza as a woman in a culture that is so opposed to something like that.
Mm-hmm. As an American,
As an American, exactly, an American woman who is also not pure Japanese. So there's a scene later coming up where somebody challenges her for that.
So O-Ren Ishii, codenamed Cottonmouth, played by Lucy Liu as the live action, but voiced by Ai Maeda in the anime.
Okay.
As I was saying before, I wasn't really much of an anime person, so I didn't initially appreciate it. But man, this is a fucking intense section of the movie, and pretty heartfelt as well. Starts off and you kind of see like these people battling it out in this room, and it's like a dad defending his family from these like mobsters or something.
Heartbreaking. It echoes The Professional for anybody who listens to that episode of our podcast. Well, Leon the Professional. It echoes that same struggle, only this is really heartfelt. I mean, he really cares about his children. It's not just that they got busted in on and were doing bad things. These people were being toyed with, and you're seeing from her perspective, she's hidden underneath the bed, and so the bad guys don't know that she's there, evidently, and they're holding his wife, but they're beating her father, and I think he's fighting back. He's not getting the upper hand.
Well, he takes out a couple of goons and he fucks them up. So one guy for sure, he punches so hard that his head turns around a couple times.
Oh, yeah, I'm not remembering it.
It spirals.
That's how much of a badass. That's where she's a child. She's a product of this much of a badass. So cool. Yeah.
And then as it's showing what he's capable of, he gets stabbed, and it's by this kind of this like creepy sort of like snake like character that wears all white, like a white suit, and he has the long hair in his face. He's the one that ends up taking out the dad. I don't know, kind of androgynous looking.
I was literally that was the word. I was like, yeah, androgynous. I was like, that seems to be about right. Yeah, he was a little effeminate, but like bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
Cruel.
Definitely dangerous for sure.
Extremely. And his little grin, and he like pulls his hair back. Nasty grin, like not just ugly teeth, just.
Who does have ugly teeth is the head honcho guy, because he's just kind of sitting in the back laughing, just cackling. And I guess that guy's name is Boss Matsumoto, voiced by Naomi Kusumi. O-Ren is just, she's helpless. She's probably no older than like 10 here, huh? In this section, or maybe like 8, but she's hiding under the bed, and she's trying not to make a sound. The dad hits the ground and he looks over at her. The whimper comes out as the word whimper, which I thought was cool.
I loved that too.
And she like shoves it back in her mouth. You hear one more stab. The life finally exits his body, and then like his eye rolls up. Next is the mom. She gets thrown on the bed, and that was cool design too, because you can see the little like the weight of the body lump down from the mattress underneath. So I thought that was cool that they had that detail in there. Yeah, the dramatic music hits when Boss Matsumoto gets the death blow on the mom. The guy in the white suit hands the sword over, and then he stabs the mom through the mattress. And then you start seeing the blood pool up, and it starts dripping on her face. And that's when the dramatic music is hitting, whispering out "mom," and obviously there's no answer.
And the song's beautiful. Gosh, it's such an epic sweeping song, and it's just like the blood as it drips is like tears on her face. It's so poetic.
The guy in the white suit shoots the bottle of alcohol, and then he like does a stylistic roundhouse kick to the cigar that was left on the arm of the chair, and ignites it, and so the place is burning down, and O-Ren is able to escape, but she's like sitting there, just this little girl with her pigtails and shit, and it's sad.
Yeah, her whole family gone.
So this next section is, I would say, probably the biggest addition to the Kill Bill story, and this was only in the Whole Bloody Affair. I even highlight it in red.
Mm.
But yeah, this is the story where we see O-Ren as a teenager. So not quite a young adult yet, but she's a teenager. Before this, she takes out Boss Matsumoto because he's a pedophile. So, she pretends to be like one of his victims and then ends up like stabbing him in the chest and like splitting him in half.
Oh, it's great. It's great. He's gritting. He's clenching his jaw so hard that his teeth shatter in his mouth.
Oh,
when that's what happens. Like she wrenches the knife, and that's when he's like, he was already gritting his teeth, and then he's like, and then just his teeth just shatter.
And then when she slices them open, it's just geyser, right? That comes up.
Geyser, great, and it just spills all over her, and she's just like, ah.
Imagine seeing that imagery where it's like this geyser is shooting out, and then she's just kind of like soaking it in.
Euphoric.
Her head is tilted up, and then she just kind of glances over without like any worry.
Cocks to the side. No worry. Yeah, exactly. She's fucking bested him. Like, come at me.
The next section, as a teenager, she then hunts down Pretty Ricky, which I guess we didn't know that guy in the white suit. We didn't know his name until this section. And so he's referred to as Pretty Ricky. And this is the big addition, because this is a pretty extensive part of the story. Like, it extends the anime section quite a few minutes, right? Like, I would say like a good 10 minutes. And so this is a section where she goes up against him and, she wants to take him out, because I think before this, they don't really show what happens to him. So this is kind of explaining that.
That's unfortunate. This feels so necessary for vindication. This feels so necessary for the closure for the audience. So I'm really glad that this was included, because I didn't remember it. But again, like I said, it's been so many years since I've seen it. So, wow, this scene was a whole other fucking, this whole anime thing was just a whole other movie, just feeling it.
Pretty wild.
It's intense. This battle is fucking dope. Like, it's worth watching just for that. It's so cool.
Yep. So, and Pretty Ricky, by the way, is voiced by Hikaru Midorikawa. So, this is Boss Matsumoto's right-hand man. We get to see what happened to that guy. She's hunting him down, and it eventually leads to like this elevator sequence, taking the elevator up. They don't realize that O-Ren is on top of the elevator. She takes out the two like goons with Pretty Ricky
from the ceiling.
Pretty Ricky, he's probably the most formidable opponent up to this point, because Matsumoto, he was taken out relatively easily, but Ricky, I don't think he really has like the same weaknesses, like he's always on edge and he's always prepared. Right. O-Ren is struggling with him. What she's trying to do is basically like drop some grenades in the elevator shaft and just kill everyone there. He's like pulling her down, and so she's like struggling to get away as these grenades are cooking, pulling at her leg and her bag, and like I think even more grenades fall out. This elevator is about to fucking blow up.
More than just that little box is gonna blow.
It's gonna be gone.
There's gonna be some more damage. It's gonna be huge, and she's just holding on, barely holding on to the escape panel that she's reaching up for in the elevator. So she's trying to climb out, but he's a full fucking dude, full guy.
Yeah, he's like trying to overpower her and like pull her in. He's like, hey, if I'm going out, you're going with me.
Yeah.
So all the grenades explode. It's this huge explosion, and Pretty Ricky like falls to his death, right? Presumably. O-Ren is holding on, but like her grip is failing her, and so she slips, falling down this elevator shaft. All she has in her hand is like her sword, basically like falling to her death. She sees that Pretty Ricky's still alive, and he held on to the side of the elevator shaft down below, and so she's like, oh fuck no. She like goes back into killer mode, grips the sword and targets Pretty Ricky on her way down, and like takes him out that way. So that was pretty wild. She's going at like 100 miles an hour.
She's like skydiving. It was so sick. Yeah, she's actually intending. She goes head first toward him as she's falling. It's like, that's how bloodthirsty she is, and how confident also she is. She can end him, this bitch ass mofo.
It's actually kind of funny, because she would have probably died here, but because Ricky was able to somehow survive and hold on, she was able to slow her descent and like stab him, take him out, and then save herself at the same time.
Yeah, it's awesome. It just shows
Yeah.
how cool, how badass she is. And yeah, anyway.
It jumps a little bit more into the future, and so, or I guess closer to present day. And she's a young adult now, and she's rocking this like sick red cat suit. And she's a sniper now, and so she's like, I don't even know who she's taking out. I guess it doesn't really matter, but she's sniping this dude from like hundreds of feet away, and he's in the back of this limo. So she shoots through the windshield. He kind of looked like a politician or something.
He did. His eyes are all fucking cockeyed. Ah, ha, 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 ha. His eyes are pointing off in different directions.
I think he was foreign too. Like, I don't think he was Japanese or anything.
He looked like an American.
Maybe American.
I think he had American flags or something like that.
Shoots him like dead center in the middle of his forehead, and it follows the bullet the entire time. So as soon as it leaves the gun, it's following it, and it goes through the windshield and like through the entire limo, and then it travels through his head. Like you're following it travel through his head, and then when it explodes, the girls that he was with look into his face.
And you're looking at their faces as they peer into
their reaction.
It
was pretty sick.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. All the best parts about anime.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically how she slowly starts making a name for herself. And then we assume that not long after that, she gets hired by Bill and becomes a member of the Deadly Viper assassination squad. Then we rejoin the bride in present day, however many hours later. I think it actually was like 13 hours later. Not 17. It was a long time she was sitting in that truck. And so she hops out, and she can walk now. And so she gets into the driver's seat and takes off. And I just wanted to make sure that we got to talk a little bit about the big section that they added, because that was, I would say, the most significant thing that they added in the whole bloody affair.
Right. I wasn't, I hadn't really looked into what was included, exactly what was included. So that is really cool to spend a little extra time on that.
Yeah. Chapter 4 is The Man from Okinawa. And this is where we see the bride, and she hops on a one-way trip to Okinawa, Japan, basically looking for this guy named Hattori Hanzo. He was one of Bill's mentors, and so she wants to get more information and hopefully be able to get something else from this guy. Mm-hmm. So she walks into this little sushi spot, and he's very friendly and hospitable, and he's trying to take care of her, and she's kind of like giving him a little bit of Japanese, and so he's all like, "Oh shit, all right." An
American woman trying, and so she's really playing it up, hamming it up sort of, and he's taking the bait. Oh yeah, and then he's telling this guy, get out here and serve, we have a customer or whatever, and the guy's like giving pushback. It's just one of the funniest scenes in the movie. Them back and forth, and him thinking that she can't understand him because he's speaking in Japanese, of course, and she has such poor Japanese. He's just like, you can tell he's angry no matter what. I mean, there's that. But I mean, the dialogue is great. Oh my gosh,
I like this guy too. Hattori Hanzo is played by Sonny Chiba, and this guy has natural charisma. I like him.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The charisma, there's a warmth to him. It's so inviting. He goes from the anger to then, and he's got such a charm about him. It's not just like a sadistic, like angry, and then what do you want? I can help. There's this way of like regains his composure, and let's So, where are you gonna go, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, what brings you to Japan? And she's like, oh, I'm looking for someone. He's like, oh, who's this guy? His name is Hattori Hanzo. And then as soon as she drops that name, he's just like, oh shit. So this can't be good, because like who else would know me like that? And then that's when she busts out that she can actually have a full conversation in Japanese. And I like it because they're kind of like going back and forth between Japanese and English, and it's just so fluid, right? Yeah, I'm looking for someone that can make me one of these legendary swords. And so he's just like, what the fuck do you need a sword like that for? And she's like, because I need to kill a rat. Well, it must be a pretty big rat that you're trying to kill. And then she's like, huge. She doesn't name drop Bill yet. I think she lets him kind of, eventually come to that conclusion himself. He shows her the little collection of swords that he made in the past, and he's just like, yeah, I don't do this anymore. Like, I'm out of that trade. And she's just like, well, that's fine. Just give me one of these. And he's just like, I ain't giving you shit.
Right, right.
I mean, you found the right guy, but I'm out of that game. She guilt trips him into doing it because she's like, because of the person that I'm dealing with and all the shit that he put me through, you kind of owe me this. And that's when he writes Bill on the window, all dramatic.
He writes it. That's right. In the dusty window.
Because it's Bill, you know.
He's going to break his oath.
He got to break the oath. He promised that he would stop making these instruments of death. It's kind of weird because he's such a peaceful, nice guy, but he's so good at making weapons, you know, weapons that hurt people. He has to like basically put on like a uniform to be able to like, you know, forge this perfect weapon, this perfect sword.
He tells her to wait 2 weeks, you know, it's just it's like, wow, it's going to take this man 2 weeks, and he puts all his effort into it. And it's just the thought that he had all these other swords here. He could just have phoned it in and just given her one of those. But it's almost symbolic, the fact that he's like, I'm not just going to give you one of the instruments of death that I made before I made the oath. I'm going to break my oath specifically to give you one for this very specific occasion. And it's beautiful. Gosh, the whole scene is just wonderful. And the presentation of the sword was, I think, so good.
It's a palate cleanser because we just got done seeing some crazy ass anime section, and then now we're gonna kind of like ease you into the climax of the movie.
Exposition.
I think that's cool. That's another signature thing from this organization, is that they all basically get like their own custom samurai sword, you know, their own katana. And so it's pretty badass that she gets her own. Right, yeah. And he even mentions, when he's handing it off to her, he mentions that this is like the finest sword I've ever made. So it's his last one, presumably, right? But it's also like the most perfect one he's ever crafted. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I love the beautiful phrases he uses, like something like, if God were to come, I'm going to butcher it, but something like, if God were to come and try to fight you or take this from you, you would split even him. Like, it's just he's speaking in Japanese, and it's just the way he says it. He's like, oh.
Like he can't even believe what he's saying right now.
Just like, oh, this thing is that good.
She gets some good use out of the sword, like right out the gate.
And how? And how?
After that, she heads over to Tokyo. So she's on her way. Before we get to the actual House of Blue Leaves, and I think this might be actually part of chapter 5, we get to see almost like a little dynamic of what it's like having O-Ren as the head of the Yakuza, and she's sitting at that table with like other bosses, and it gets a little tense.
A little. Just a little.
I mean, she's kind of hamming it up with a lot of them, but there's that one that's sit in the back, and he's like, I can't put up with this anymore. This is a disgrace.
Right. For the reasons we mentioned before. She's a woman, she's American and Chinese. She's not pure Japanese, and he can't believe these other people are placating her.
Yep.
Because he doesn't respect her. He even though she's a badass, it's like he just doesn't give a shit. This matters more, the principle.
Exactly.
So she lets him speak his mind.
Lets him get it out there before she basically runs over there and cuts off his head in one swift motion.
Oh, it's great. Her little feet.
Because she's in the kimono.
Because she's in the kimono, yeah. Like real quick.
She was basically saying that, like, you know, if you have any concerns, you know, feel free to approach me about it. But the one thing she has zero tolerance for is anyone that questions her lineage. So if any of you motherfuckers has anything else to say about that, now's the time.
Now's the fucking time.
Everyone's just in shock, right? And so she drops the head and she's like, that's what I thought. And then they just roll out.
That head falls like a ton of bricks.
Oh, it does. Yeah, it definitely has weight to it. That shows kind of the dynamic of where she is now. So, you know, obviously everyone's in, except for Elle, but other than her, everyone's in kind of a different spot than when they were part of the organization. It seemed like O-Ren rose to become a Yakuza boss, and she's a pretty ruthless Yakuza boss at that. This shows that, man, this is a dangerous person, and she's next on the hit list. She's actually number 1 on the hit list. So chapter 5 is titled The Showdown at House of Blue Leaves, and this is where the bride, now she's shown up in Tokyo, And this is where she's rocking the Bruce Lee throwback, right? Like the
yellow
with the black trim.
Mm-hmm.
Sick. Cool design that, it still holds up. Almost modernized, I would say. Like, it's paying homage to Bruce Lee, but it's almost like a modern version of the outfit that he was wearing back then.
Yeah, exactly. With the leather, like you said, it's so apropos for the motorcycle and all that.
And it matches like the yellow bike with the yellow helmet and all that stuff. Like, everything is just cohesive. And even the music that's playing here, right?
Dun, dun, dun. That's right. Yeah.
Doing that like slow-mo walk through the House of Blue Leaves. And it was like, oh, this is so fucking sick.
Juicy.
It's definitely important to mention the kind of like the close people that O-Ren has around her. So she has a interpreter / I think attorney in Sophie Fatale.
Speaks beautiful French and Japanese.
I was quite impressed because she perfect English, perfect French, and perfect Japanese. Played by Julie Dreyfus. Stunning character, right? But yeah, I was quite impressed with like the fact that she was able to speak those languages just like flawlessly.
Yeah, no, that just added to her hotness. It was off. I just loved it. Yeah, absolutely.
We also have this little girl. Well, I guess not quite little, but she's like a teenage girl named Gogo Yubari, played by Chiaki Kuriyama. I think she's like, was she like 18, 19 or something? Probably the youngest person on the team. And, she's gorgeous as well. But also kind of sadistic looking because she never smiles. Like, she just kind of has like
these
crazy
look
eyes
on her face. You see so much white in her eyes. It just feels, yeah.
I just love like all these aspects about this gang, right? This like clique that she has, this like beautiful interpreter attorney girl. And then you have this teenager that's your personal bodyguard. She looks like the most unassuming person out of the entire team, but she's like the most dangerous. It's wild. And then lastly, we have Johnny Mo, played by Chia-Hui, the leader of this gang that they call the Crazy 88. And we don't see them yet, but that's going to come a little later.
They do have quite an entourage, though, but it's not the full Crazy 88.
Exactly. Yeah, I think they only keep like a few henchmen with them. But yeah, Johnny Mo is like their head lieutenant guy. And he always wears like the little eye mask thing. That's his signature look.
Right. Again, an homage to Bruce Lee when he was in Green Lantern. Green Hornet. Green Hornet. There it is. Exactly. When he was in the Green Hornet.
Not the remake one. That one sucked. Ugh. Don't even mention it. So, all right, guys. Buckle the fuck up because we're about to get into the climax of volume 1 here.
Fucking buckle up, guys. Fucking buckle the fuck up.
Everything that we've seen so far is leading to this. Like, it's all just hyping this moment up. They have that top-down shot and they're walking through the House of Blue Leaves. And this is such a cool venue, man.
It is.
So they have like waterfalls, like water effects and dance floor and a stage. And I loved everything about it.
The musicians are so interesting in and of themselves. Are so idiosyncratic, and they're playing in bare feet. At least the singer is, and the guitar player. But they're like, just dancing on the wood floor.
The band's called the 5-6-7-8s, and they're playing themselves and performing their own songs. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're just like a quirky band, and I like that they stand out but fit in at the same time in this whole setting. So the bride shows up and, she's tracked O-Ren to this House of Blue Leaves location. And I guess this is like a frequent hangout for O-Ren. And she's just kind of scoping the place out, So she walks in there and no one really questions her. And first trying to listen in on the conversation that they're having up in like their private suite. And this is a pretty tense scene here too, because O-Ren, she senses something and she throws like a little like hidden dagger or something out of her sleeve. Goes through the paper door, almost gets the bride in the face, and then she sends Gogo out there to investigate. And Gogo pulls out a knife and all that stuff, and she's looking around, doesn't see anyone. Up in the ceiling, the bride is just kind of in like
the rafters, yeah,
pressing
against the wall with her feet and her hands just to stay, wedged up above her.
Yep, I think that's when she goes to the bathroom and she's kind of like getting ready for battle, and she hears Sophie walk into the restroom, and so she's like, it shows the red eyes again.
Yeah. I mean, get them out of the fucking water. Yeah, yeah. It shows the red eyes and the dun 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 dun.
Oh, Sophie was there, huh? Because I think she was in the back, like watching and laughing as they were all beating her ass at the
Yeah,
wedding.
yeah. She remembered her being on the phone while it
That's
was
what it was.
going down at a certain point. That's how she knows it's her, because she's in the other stall, but she hears the ringtone, and when she hears the ringtone, that's when the memories go off in her head, and then the dun 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 dun.
And that's when she calls out O-Ren, like straight up, just like calls her out in the middle of the whole venue. You know, the whole team lines up and they're looking down at her, and she cuts off Sophie's arm, like just straight up just cuts that thing clean off.
And the way that she writhes in pain is hard. It's like gut wrenching at first, but then it just gets so over the top that you're like, what? And it almost reminded me, I don't know about you, but it reminded me of one of the early, is it an early scene? Either way, it's a scene when Wednesday and Pugsley are enacting some other scene from a play, and this is in the original. This is in the
OG movie,
with Raul Julia, Christina Ricci.
Yep.
And yeah, like Pugsley, she cuts off Pugsley's arm, and then it's just like this again, a geyser of blood, and it's like getting all over the audience and stuff, and they're horrified. Yeah. It's kind of like the just that acting it out, like her just screaming and going on and on. It's just there's a point where you're just like, oh dang, that's terrible, and then you're like, oh my gosh, this is just so, the way she's moving, still going. Yeah, it's still going, and it gets to be comical.
I think that section right there showed that the bride she means business, and that certainly caught me by surprise, because I thought she was just gonna like maybe push Sophie off to the side or like punch her or something, right? Rough her up a little bit. But she straight up just like boom, cuts her arm off, and then it's like, all right, cool, she's done. Now who's next, right?
Yep.
They start off by sending like a few of the goons after her, and she just, she dispatches them pretty easily.
Handle
them. It was even cool like how she kills that last one, because like her sword's vibrating, and then she stops it by hitting it with, she almost does like a little hammer fist on the hilt of it.
Yeah, she hits it on the hilt, but also that's another way for samurai to clean their blade of the blood that's on it.
Whoa, okay.
So you bang the back of it like that, and then the blood gets forces the blood to drip off the edge, because you're always cleaning blood off your sword for speed and whatever else, sharpness.
I imagine. And everything about this is just so stylistic. A lot of it is methodical, and it's tightly choreographed, and this whole section is so fun.
Everyone contributed. It's just the everyone plays their part. And I mean, she plays the biggest part, obviously. Uma Thurman. Just everything is it's such a beautiful dance that they all had to get timed well, you know.
So Gogo's up next. And so she's just like, you got anyone else? The bride's talking shit now. She's like, you got anyone else? And that's when Gogo shows up, and now she has a weapon in hand. She has like a mason chain. And then so I like how she's all cutesy about it. She's like, hi. So she's slowly making her way down the stairs, and they're like talking shit. And the bride is just like, listen, you got your whole life ahead of you. I don't want to have to do this. Don't make me kill you. And she's just like, oh, that's cute. Or that was you begging for mercy or whatever. That was pathetic. So yeah, this she's pretty sick. Even in that little flashback scene where it shows her at the bar, that guy is hitting on her, right? She's like, what, you want to get this? And he's just like, hell yeah. And then she stabs him and like guts him or whatever. Crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts. And then so cutting back to the present, as she's approaching her, she starts her swinging. And again, which is also really beautiful.
I love how they take their time with it, right?
And you hear it.
There's no music. It's just like, woo, woo, woo. And as you're just anticipating, like, oh, what's going to happen next?
And like, I forget if this is I just know she gets her one real good in the chest, just catches her by surprise, kicks the ball at Uma Thurman, at the bride, and the bride just takes the full brunt of the weight of that fucking thing and all the centrifugal force behind that shit. Just oof.
Oh yeah, this might be one of the best fights in the whole movie.
Yeah.
This is a unique weapon too, right? Like everyone's been using swords and guns or whatever, but like, who the fuck is using this ball and chain as a weapon?
Yeah.
They start going toe to toe, and immediately Gogo's able to disarm her from that sword. Like she wraps it up in the chain.
Yank it out, yeah.
You know, she starts getting the upper hand. She hits the bride in the chest or whatever, and like she starts coughing a little bit of blood. Tries to use the table as a shield, and she throws the ball like straight through that thing, and when she rips it back, it just shatters the table into splinters.
Yeah.
And so all she has in her hand is like one of the legs of the table. Like that's all that's left of the table. That's the only weapon she's able to use. And after she gets hit in the back of the head, you know, that's when she means business. She's pissed off now. And so it turns out that ball has a little like razor blade around it. Even just like the cinematography, because when she sends it with the blade and it's showing it fly through the air towards the camera, it's so intense. Like I love everything about this. Obviously, there's a couple of different things about that weapon having a razor blade because it can cut you, for one. But the way that she uses it is that she backs up the bride up against that pillar, and then she swings the ball around, and as it wraps around, it wedges in and like locks into place in the pillar with the blade. And so now there's no way that she's going to be able to loosen it up. And then that's when, yeah, she's slowly like tightening it up, like wrapping it around her arms again. Out of desperation, like you said, gets the final blow on her with that nail bat, essentially.
Nail bat.
It's just a leg of the table with like the screws sticking out of it.
Yeah, pride got the better of Gogo on that one. Had she been paying attention to what was actually about to happen, she was only thinking of, she was just seeing that she was winning.
I think she was savoring this kill, taking it all in, and she's just like, you know, she wanted to see the life drain from her eyes.
Yeah.
And that's why she was like inching closer, and like she was just focused on that and took her eye off the ball. Because you don't see the impact. You just kind of see like the bride's reaction when she just swings like full power, like boom. And when it cuts back to Gogo, tears of blood dripping down her face.
Yeah, again, really stylized. So cool.
Just like mouth agape, right? Damn, what a way to go out.
Yeah, drops.
But the big thing about that was Gogo was essentially buying time for Johnny Mo, because this whole time you don't even see him. You hear a bunch of vehicles outside pulling up.
Yep.
The bride talking to O-Ren, she's just like, is that what I think it is? And she's like, you bet your ass it is. We're about to see the crazy 88. And so that's when Johnny comes in, he screams, and then people just start flooding in out of the woodwork.
Every possible entryway, every possible way into this damn building, flooding.
It's not unlike Matrix Reloaded when he has to fight a bunch of copies. That's basically like what this scene is, right? I don't even think that they bother giving any of these characters names or even numbers or anything, right? No identifiers, because they're just cannon fodder.
Right.
So yeah, she's completely surrounded. I think they even mentioned that it wasn't actually 88 people, but honestly, it seemed like it was more than that. It seemed like it was like a couple hundred.
Yeah.
But yeah, she says, fuck it, let's go. And starts just like hacking them up.
Yep.
At the beginning of it, she even holds it up and she's able to use the reflection of the sword to look behind her, methodically taking fools out. And in this crazy sequence here, this like crazy fight scene, do you have a favorite kill?
Not a favorite kill, but a favorite area where she's doing killing. The room when they kill the lights. And all you see is her silhouette with theirs, and it's just that blue color. I got choked up at that part because I was just like, man, anytime I talked about this scene with people, I told them the only way to see it is in theaters, and here I was watching it in theaters again and just loving it. And it just, I remember when I first saw it, it made my jaw drop. I thought it was just so epically beautiful, and no music, again, just them going at it, just their breathing and yelling, and yeah, the sound of people dying in there. It was just sick. It was just so cool. It flattened it, you know what I mean? Whereas before you see all these dimensions because you have all this different color to differentiate. Now all of a sudden it's just blue and black, so it flattens it.
True. Since it's a silhouette, you can't see depth as well.
That's it, exactly. So it's so the two-dimensional and just so smart. And again, just beautiful. So that was what I was looking forward to. I can't deny that that's one of the biggest reasons for me wanting to rewatch it again, was just for that scene alone. Again,
it's how stylized this whole section is. I love it. And I don't know if you noticed this too, because in the original release, when she's fighting the Crazy 88, after like the first couple of people, it turns black and white.
That's right. That's
To avoid
right.
getting an NC-17 with like all the blood, it turns black and white. So that's another major change, is that for the whole bloody affair, it doesn't turn black and white. It stays in color the whole time.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool to see. For me, I had a couple favorite deaths actually. So I think towards the beginning, I want to say there's this part when she's standing on someone's shoulders, and then she does like a somersault off of their shoulders. The person that she was standing on, she splits them in half when she does the flip, and then when she comes down on her feet, she splits another person in half. And I was like, damn.
What's the other one?
I mean, she's windmilling, the breakdance
That
windmilling, and she's taking out Shins.
Yeah, that one was that's what I kept thinking of when I was initially talking about her fighting them before. I was like, oh wait, yeah, she had to fight Gogo. Was when she's just like, oh, just sweeping around on her butt and then on her back and on her butt and on her back and just just chopping them. And as soon as they get down, she's just fucking them up.
All that's left are just feet.
Feet just hanging.
You just see the feet and like the sock, because it's still attached to the severed shin. It's crazy. I mean, after a while, she takes them all out one by one, right? Until there's no more Crazy 88 left. The last guy she takes out, I think, is Johnny Moe, because he gets fucked up a little bit, but he keeps coming back. And what sort of weapon does he have? He almost has like this like staff that splits into like two blades. It was definitely two-handed, and he was going like toe to toe with her using that.
Yeah, because he's walking along the banister and he's like, yeah, it's. He's like making all these noises as he's like kind of in his own.
He's like spinning as he's attacking her.
Yeah, like when's the entryway? When's the point you can jump in and attack him? Just these blades are flying at you.
But yeah, she eventually is able to time it right, get the killing blow on Johnny Moe, and in like a dramatic fashion, he falls to his death in one of the pools, right?
Yeah.
The little ponds down below.
Sliced in half. Aww.
So that's pretty much everyone. At that point, the only person left is O-Ren herself. And this is such a beautiful fight too, because it's out in the little like garden area. And again, like this House of Blue Leaves venue, I don't even know if it's actually real or not, or if it was just made for the movie, but man, this thing is pretty badass. I love this place.
So quiet, so serene compared to what you just came from, and the snow falling so gently, and then hearing that fountain, or that I don't know what you would call it.
It's like a water feature.
It's a water feature. And that's what you're hearing, the trickle of the water, and then the thud, and then more trickling water, and eventually another thud, and this gentle snow falling again. It's so picturesque.
Yep.
The showdown.
The final showdown of Volume 1. And it's a much different fight. That's what I really liked about it, was everything was like really nasty before, and it was very over the top with the blood. And this one it's more methodical. That's what I like about this one. It's not like you're just like rushing towards each other, slicing each other up. No one wants to make the first move.
Right.
If you make one wrong step, that's it.
You open yourself to a counter attack. So make it good. Make it count.
I mean, this shows you how good the bride is, because she just got done taking out everyone, her entire team.
Yeah.
And O-Ren, she's feeling confident, and she's like talking shit, and she's kind of like, slowly taking off the little slippers that she wears. She feels that there's a very good chance that she's going to be able to take out the bride, because, she's already fatigued.
Right.
She has some minor injuries or whatever. So she's just like, I got this in the bag.
Yeah.
Doesn't she cut her in the back?
She gets her good.
Yeah, they're squaring off, and then she dodges and like slices her in the back. And so like, O-Ren's getting confident. And I mean, this isn't her first rodeo either. Like, she's fucked people up in the past.
Yeah.
She also has a Hattori Hanzo sword. So it's like they both have like similar weapons. You kind of saw what the Hattori Hanzo sword was capable of, because that one guy, right, like holds up his sword, and the bride is just able to like chop it into pieces.
And then spanks him with the Hattori Hanzo sword.
But the bride, she falls down, but she picks herself back up. She dusts herself off, and she gets back in the fight. And she actually starts getting a couple cuts in on O-Ren. She slices her leg and stuff. So
yeah, pretty significant.
Now I think that's starting to get to O-Ren. Like she's starting to think like, man, maybe I can't take her out.
And she apologizes. O-Ren apologizes after getting got a couple times. She's like, for what I said before, I am sorry.
I forgot how she phrased it, but she says something like, I don't know if it means much of anything, but I'm sorry for everything that went down. The bride accepts it. I don't think that's not going to be enough to spare her, but she basically just said like, understood.
Yeah. But we both know we got to finish this. Yeah, exactly.
There's only one way that this is going to end. One of us dead. They're squaring off again. And it's more of like a traditional like samurai showdown sort of thing. It's not a whole lot of wild swings or anything like that.
Very economical movements.
The way it ends is the bride gets this clean swipe and straight up takes off the top of O-Ren's head.
Yeah, you just see that big chunk of skull just flying, and it lands in the snow off in the distance. And she's like, that really was a Hattori Hanzo sword.
As it slowly pans out.
Yeah, and she drops to her knees, and that's when no, she doesn't drop to her knees. You just, as it pans out, then you see, oh shit, her fucking brain is exposed. Lady, cover it. It's snowing out here, for God's sake.
It's chilly.
It's chilly.
Don't you know we lose most of our body heat through the top of our head?
Get it together. God, have some decency. Your brain is showing.
Who raised you?
Who raised you? And then she dead.
Yep. Has the dramatic, you just fall to your knee and then fall over. And then I like how they stay in this scene too, because like she just kind of like watching her. You're hearing like the little water feature in the background, right? The little thunk and all that. Mm-hmm. She ends up leaving the venue, but she takes someone with her. Turns out Sophie was still alive. So when she returns to like the little bloody mess that she left, she was like, anyone that's still alive, get out of here. But just know that you're lucky. You actually get to leave with your life. Except for you, Sophie. You're coming with me. Yeah. And so, yeah, she basically throws her in the trunk. And that's when we see the trunk shot, right? With Bride wearing the motorcycle helmet.
Visor closed.
She was telling her that she was keeping her alive so that way she can deliver the message of like what happened here to Bill. Mm-hmm. And this is another scene I noticed too. This is an extended scene just for the whole bloody affair. So in the original, during the trunk shot, you get to hear the audio of Sophie's other arm getting cut off. But in this one, it actually shows it. It cuts to like a different scene where she's like, come here, and like they're struggling. She's like sawing off her other arm.
Oh, yeah. And
so in the original, it's just as she's looking down, you kind of hear it in the background, like the struggling. That's another difference that I noticed. The first half of the movie basically ends with Sophie talking to Bill, and like you find out that Sophie has no arms now. And Bill is just kind of standing behind her, right? And he's just kind of, isn't he like caressing her face?
He is, and he's got a hand on his shoulder. He's got a ring on his, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Again, you still don't see him.
Very reassuring. She said she'd let me keep my wicked life.
And the big takeaway here, the big cliffhanger, I guess you could say, is that they reveal that the bride's baby is in fact still alive. Bam, intermission.
End scene.
So after seeing the first half of the movie, bathroom break and refreshment break and all that stuff during the intermission, how are you feeling seeing volume 1 again?
Yeah, we walked to the concession stand, stood in line, and I was just sort of, how do I put it? I was swimming in it. I felt like I was like, wow, I can't believe, like, I can't believe I got to see all of that again in theaters. It was so monumental for me when I was going through film school, and in my young life, it had such an impact. And so to be there with you, and the fact that there's an intermission and there was more to come, I just remembered thinking like, wow, it was hard to put into words. Even now, it's still hard to put into words. What about you?
Heck yeah. It was so fun to watch it again, because last time I saw it with my dad, and my dad's no longer with us, but, and I'm also in a different headspace, right? Different place in my life. Cause I was only, was I in high school, like freshman or something? So yeah, long time ago.
I was leaving high school
And
and you were coming into high school.
yeah, it hits different because you already know what's going to happen, but you're also looking out for like what might be different. And so that's also cool to see
Mm.
some of those extended scenes.
Yeah, yeah, a little something to delight in that you hadn't seen before. I'd have seen it anyway if it had just been a re-release as the whole thing, even if it had had that black and white scene, even if there was, if it had been original, I would have gone and seen it. But the fact that there was still a little something for everybody who had seen it before just adds a little more, just like it's like a little chef's kiss. Just
hell yeah. It kind of felt like a play to me where you just couldn't wait to get back in there, you know? Like I was just waiting for intermission to be over so that way we can get back into the story. I'm like, fuck, I'm hyped.
Yeah,
Let's
I was
go.
definitely hyped. With my Perrier.
So fancy with your Perrier.
My Perrier.
So after the intermission, it goes into chapter 6, Massacre at Two Pines. Another thing to point out here with the whole bloody affair is that when volume 2 starts, it has that black and white scene where the bride is driving and she's talking. She's breaking the fourth wall and she's talking to the audience and she's like, I'm on my way right now to see Bill and I'm going to kill Bill, right? So they're almost doing like a little like recap of what happened in volume 1. That's not here in the second half of the whole bloody affair. The movies are back to back, so they don't need to do the recap since you just saw it. So they just cut that out, and that part's missing.
I like it. Yeah.
And it just goes back into the flashback where we get to see a little bit more of what happened at the Massacre at Two Pines. We're seeing like the wedding rehearsal sort of thing going on. It was funny because they're talking amongst themselves and they're just like, we understand that this isn't the actual ceremony, but we decided to wear the dress and the tux because it's like, hey, we paid for it. Might as well get our money's worth out of it, right?
Right, exactly.
It actually shows that the bride had some friends. Like, she doesn't have family, but she had like 4 friends, and it seemed like they were pretty tight knit. They had her back.
Yeah, exactly. Like when she needs to take a break, when she's tired of going over the procedure for the wedding, she's just like, I need to get out of here. Can you cover for me? I need to go get a breath of fresh air.
And so as she walks out, we hear this flute playing. She looks over and it's Bill. And so this is the first time we actually get to see what Bill looks like. Lo and behold, Bill himself is played by David Carradine, in case you couldn't tell from his voice.
Right, exactly. Which is also so interesting that there's the yellow, the yellow coverall, the yellow suit as the homage to Bruce Lee, the mask over the eyes for the leader of the crazy
Johnny Moe.
Yeah, Johnny Moe. Again, the Green Hornet reference. And then the fact that now David Carradine is in this, and David Carradine is the one who got the role for the show Kung Fu.
Yep.
So it's just like all these connections to even to Bruce
martial
Lee.
Arts. Yep. And it shows you how much of a fan Tarantino was, because it's like he loved all of those, and so that's why he's paying homage to all of them. He's taking elements from all these things that he enjoyed when he was younger, and he's mashing them all together
like a love letter.
It's beautiful. So volume 2, I think a lot of people, they tend to like volume 1 better than or more so than volume 2, because volume 2 is it's a little bit of a slower pace. We're getting more exposition. We're getting more understanding of everything that's happened. Whereas like the first one is just like, you're in it and it's just going to be violent.
Next?
Yeah, nothing but just violence everywhere. We're getting to see what led to that violence, essentially. By this point, the bride is going by the fake name Arlene Machiavelli, and she is about to get married to Tommy Plimpton, played by Fred Durst.
I know. Never. Shocker. Never would have saw that one coming.
No, his name is actually Chris Nelson, but dude did remind me of Fred Durst, to be honest.
Big time.
Throw a red cap on him, boom. Identical.
Oh my gosh.
What I thought was actually kind of fun about Bill was that he also has a code name, and his code name is Snake Charmer. So when I found that out, I was like, dang, that's kind of dope. You know, he's the head guy of the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad and the one that's charming them. It's a pretty cheeky code name. But this is a interesting conversation. You know, this is Tarantino's bread and butter. Extended conversations, but I love the interactions that he gets out of people. the back and forths that they have. When you're really listening to the conversations, even though a lot of it is like it could be throwaway lines or whatever, but it's like the way that they're all playing off of what's going on in this conversation that I always find interesting in Tarantino movies.
Yeah.
In this one here, we're getting a little bit more of the relationship between the bride and Bill. He's not coming out and immediately like, you bitch, you know, you left me and whatever, you're marrying this guy. He's just kind of like playing his flute, and she's just like, what are you doing here? You know, how'd you find me? And he's just like, I have my ways.
She's saying it with a smile. There's like there's still
she's almost
love
happy
there.
to see him.
Yeah, there's love there.
I think she is kind of scared of him, but she did miss him in some fashion.
And we know from the first movie, from having just watched the first half, that she said it's his baby, right? So we know that there's a relationship there.
Right. Yeah, they were together at least for a bit. Even though like Carradine's like quite a bit older than Uma Thurman. I guess like the heart wants what it wants.
Exactly.
This is interesting too, because as they're talking, they're like each taking a step closer towards each other until they like meet in the middle. He's actually being sweet with her. I think she's showing like she's a little like unsure about how to feel about him being there. You know, I'm happy for you. Why didn't you invite me to the wedding? You know, are you going to be nice? And he's like, well, I'll be sweet. I can't be nice, but I'll be sweet. And then when she invites him to the wedding, he's like, can I be on the bride's side? And she's like, well, you'll find it lonely on my side. And that's when he says the line, you know, it always was a little lonely on your side. But that's the only side he wants to be on. This is like tender moment between them. And for a second, for a brief moment, you think, oh, this might work out all right. But we already know the end result.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the reaction on Bill's face when he's introduced to Tommy?
What are you thinking of?
She introduces Bill as her dad?
Yeah, her dad.
So he's just like, oh, you know, like he wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, look at her like, yeah.
Yep, that's me, I guess. That's pointing out the elephant in the room is that David Carradine is quite a bit older.
Right.
Basically is old enough to be her dad. Tommy actually genuinely seems like a pretty decent guy.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate. And as it's pulling out of like the chapel through the doorway and it's like zooming further out, you see the other members of the Deadly Viper assassination squad show up.
They're closing in.
They have their weapons in hand, and then they just like take a moment and then head inside and start shooting up the place. And so
you hear it all.
That was the end of the chapter. Crazy. But it gives us some context how it actually went down. And now we get to chapter 7, The Lonely Grave of Paula Schultz. I actually quite liked this chapter. I wonder how you felt about it, but this one, it focuses more on Bud, which is Bill's brother.
I mean, I just like Michael Madsen, R.I.P. So yeah, I enjoyed every bit of this whole this whole chapter. I'm laughing because I just think about the scene where he's talking to his the boss of the strip club he works at, and the whole hat scene, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah,
can't help but think of that. But yeah, it just brings that
is crazy. Yeah, he just passed away June of 2025.
Yeah. So unexpected, man.
Yeah, RIP for sure. And yeah, I mean, I've said it time and time again. I agree with you about Michael Madsen. Bud, his codename is Sidewinder. I actually really liked this character, even though you're supposed to dislike him. And it's almost like had the opposite effect on me because this character stands out to me. You know, everyone else was kind of like either moving on or excelled in different ways. But Bud didn't do any of that. Like he kind of just went downhill from here. He has a pretty shitty life. Like ever since the Deadly Viper assassination squad, he now works at a bouncer / janitor for a strip club. I think I said it back in our Sin City episode, which also had Michael Madsen in it. But I was saying that I love Michael Madsen in Tarantino films because I think Tarantino knows how to use him. He knows how to get these special performances out of him. Yeah,
he just provokes that charm. That's because if he's Bill's brother, then he proves that charm is something that's just in them.
Yeah,
because he has this sort of quiet charm about him, a sort of a smugness as well. This wink in his eye, you know, his twinkle rather in his eye.
And with Madsen, like you see shades of how great of an actor he could be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he was capable of being, but I feel like he just kind of firmly fell into a role of like a B movie actor,
Which is such a shame too. I mean, he was in a pretty big blockbuster hit, Free Willy,
right?
but he was just like a stepdad.
Award-winning movie.
Award winning, but it was a big hit. It was definitely a big hit. But everything else was pretty much B movies. And I mean, his role in Reservoir Dogs, I think, was it still outdid this performance and every performance since. I really it's hard to top that. He just for so many reasons. I don't want to give any spoilers away because we weren't going to be doing that for this one. But yeah, just for those of you who haven't seen Reservoir Dogs, yeah, he's a little sadistic and you don't see it coming right away. But he's still charming, same person. Oh man, I miss him. But yeah, this whole chapter is just it was different watching it now, knowing that he had passed away, and seeing this and getting to appreciate just his performance with this big, even more of an open heart, which I was already a fan of because of Reservoir Dogs.
I think this role still holds up, this performance, because this was, I think, the last, or at least one of the last blockbuster movie performances from Michael Madsen.
Yeah,
I think personally he knocked out of the park as Bud.
I couldn't see anybody else doing that. No, he killed it. He did a great job.
It's kind of a sad character, like it seemed like he really let himself go, and he seemed lost, like he didn't really know what he wanted to be if he couldn't be an assassin. And that's why he just has a shitty job at a shitty strip club that no one goes to, out in the middle of nowhere. He lives in a fucking broke down trailer, and all he does is just basically drink, and then he's broke. So he has a very different life than like the other assassins that were part of the same squad. He even gets punked by his boss, right? Like he just like takes it, and like this fool can probably kill him if he wanted to, but he just like lets people talk shit to him, and that's his life now. Doesn't want to draw attention to himself, I guess. But he's supposed to be this bouncer. I guess they say, like, when he's talking to his boss, he I can't be a bouncer when there's no one to bounce.
Right.
There's no one in here.
What you're saying is there's no customers. There's nobody to bounce. You don't want to work.
There's nothing for you to do.
Nothing
is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, exactly. So, and then he just basically starts taking away his shifts.
Dude, I love that part. Like, I think you have to actually be paying attention to what the boss is saying right there. But like, he's just like, all right, you know what? Since you don't have anything to do, let's change your schedule up a little bit, right? All right. So he turns around and he's looking at the calendar, and he's like, do you work on Monday? Yeah. And he's like, no, you fucking don't. You don't even know what days you work. I thought it was hilarious because he's trying to make a point, but it's like he made it without even trying. No, you don't even know what fucking day you work. Do you work on Tuesday? Oh yeah, there's your name right there. Wait, no, it's not. And he crosses it out. How about Wednesday? I see your name there. Oh wait, it's not there anymore. What's going on? Thursday, your name's gone. And he just like crosses out the whole week. It's basically like, get the fuck out of here. But before then, that's when it's the hat scene, right?
Yeah, exactly. No. No, and that's what he tells him. That's when he tells him right before, as he's leaving. He's like, in that fucking hat. Which there was an interview I saw right before seeing the movie. Just so happened it popped up, and this interview was Michael Madsen talking about that hat and how the whole setup of it was he had just got this hat from filming another movie in I don't know, same area, Southwest. And just how when he showed up to read for Tarantino was like, you're not going to wear that fucking hat. And then he was like, just because Tarantino told him not to wear that hat, he's just, I'm going to fucking wear this hat. So then he wears the hat, and then as he reads it, he goes to another reading or something like that. And he shows up on set or whatever. He's like, you know what? I like that hat. You're going to have to wear that hat.
Yeah. He was saying something like, I've seen you with that hat so many times that like now I can't see you without the hat.
That's it. There it is. Now I can't see you without the hat. So he's like, yeah, you got to wear it. So he wears it in the movie. But little did Michael Madsen know that Tarantino was going to give him shit in the form of the script. So his boss ends up telling him, man, that fucking hat. He says, I don't remember the line, but it's
get
just
that
like
shit kicker hat or whatever.
Shit kicker hat. Yeah. The fuck out of here. And he like, take it off. And Michael Madsen says when he was told to take it off in the scene, He said this is the disappointment you see on my face is real. He said
he didn't want to take it
I
off.
love that hat.
Why was he so attached to that hat?
I don't know. It's so funny too. It's like on anybody else, I was like, oh, that hat sucks.
You know, I will say that Michael Madsen could rock a cowboy hat. It looked good on him.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
But with the long hair too, right?
Yeah, and his hair was all fucked up too under the hat when he
had
hat hair. It was great. It was great.
With the squinty eyes, because Madsen was known for that.
Yeah, exactly. The squinty eyes.
And he was even getting shit from one of the strippers. Well, literally, but yeah, he was.
That's
she
right.
walks up to the bar, and was her name Rocket?
Mm-hmm.
She comes down. She's just like, "Yeah, the toilet's at it again. I need you to clean it up." And he's just like, "All right, Rocket, I'll clean it up."
Damn.
Bud seems like he hit rock bottom.
Mm-hmm. Unfulfilled.
It seemed like right here, Bill is like the least skilled out of everyone, right? It doesn't even seem like he could have ever been an assassin. And it makes me wonder, like, what was his specialty, I wonder, in the squad? Mm-hmm. Was he good at all, or was he just part of it because Bill ran it?
Oh, right. Yeah, I don't remember there being any. They never talk about him being a specialist of any particular thing. Mm-hmm. He's just ride or die.
Pretty much, yeah. He kind of has an estranged relationship with Bill, too, and I wonder if it was because of the bride, or if he was maybe tight with Bill. They were close before, and then once everything went down with the bride, maybe Bud kind of resents him now because he liked his life as an assassin, and then everything just went to shit after that.
Right. Yeah. Maybe blames him because that was his purpose, even though he wasn't good at any particular thing. At least he felt part of something, and now he doesn't feel part of anything exceptional either, because they were exceptional.
Yeah. So yeah, he goes back to his shit kicker trailer, and turns out that the bride tracked him down and knows where he is, and she's even wearing like a little ski mask. I don't know what she was really trying to hide from, but it wasn't like there was anyone out there. Bud kind of has some instincts, though, because it seems like he sensed her.
He has a sixth sense for sure. Maybe that's his thing. His contribution, his purpose is to be able to sort of know when some violent shit's about to go down.
He could be a step ahead of people.
And help the team to be a step ahead too.
Yeah, because even before he walks in, he like glances out at the hills, right? Out into the abyss, and he's just kind of looking around. Just kind of surveys the area and then heads inside, puts on some music. This trailer's so shit.
Oh God.
There's even like an inch gap under the door, so it's not even weatherproofed or anything. No. Like all this cold air can get
into. Yeah, it's all just
because she's peeking through and she can see the rocking trees.
His feet, yeah.
So she eventually storms inside. She just rushes him and figures that, like, I can kill this fool before he even has a chance to even know who it was.
Poopsies.
Little does she know that he was waiting. When you first saw this movie, part 2, did you even expect anything like that? Because that shit caught me off guard. Like, it almost made me jump in a way.
It did make me jump. Yeah. I
remember being like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
As soon as she opens the door to the trailer, you just see the end of like a double barrel shotgun and just almost takes like a point blank shot to the chest. And she flies like 20 feet away. It's crazy.
Yeah. Rock salt.
Yep. I thought she was dead here, to be honest. I thought she was done. There's no fucking way that she survived that shotgun blast to the chest.
Which is interesting because he filled it with rock salt. So, obviously you're not going to kill somebody with rock salt. You're going to hurt him real bad though. But like that, he was never his intention to kill her. Interesting.
Yeah. He almost had it like predetermined, premeditated what he planned on doing with her. Even like that grave of Paula Schultz and all that stuff. It seemed like he already had that location scouted.
Exactly. Was ready.
He basically sedates her, right? He has like the little syringe and he plunges it into her butt, passes out, and he calls up, who does he call up? Elle? Because I don't think he talks to Bill, huh?
No.
So I think he calls up Elle and he's just like, hey, guess who I caught? I just want to let you know that I'm going to take this girl out for you so that way you don't have to worry about it. And I just want some money for it. I'll give you her fancy new Hattori Hanzo sword as well. It kind of makes me wonder, like, did Elle not have her own Hanzo's sword. So maybe that's why she wanted one so badly.
Huh. Yeah. With her lack of training, or with her training or lack thereof, I should say.
Right.
I wonder if that was not in the cards for her because of how the training ended.
Maybe.
She didn't complete it.
Yeah. So she wasn't worthy. She wasn't good enough.
Yeah, so maybe.
This is what I loved about the Bud character, is that since he's fallen so far since being an assassin, you kind of feel sorry for him and you underestimate him. You know, he's the most unassuming one out of the bride's hit list, yet Bud is the one that comes the closest to taking her out.
Mm-hmm.
That was a pretty cool dynamic.
Yeah, exactly. The most unexpected person.
And he put in the least amount of effort.
He had somebody else dig the hole.
Yeah.
He's efficient. Delegation.
So the chapter ends with her awaking at like a cemetery, or at least some burial site that we know of, and the headstone is for Paula Schultz and all that. And as we mentioned, someone that he knows is digging the grave, and she tries to squirm a little bit when they're about to put her in, but then he threatens to pump like a whole can of mace in her eye, and then he's gonna be like, so would you rather be blind and buried, or at least have your eyes and be buried? What's it gonna be, sister?
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, she chooses to not get maced, which I think was a smarter choice.
Yeah, definitely.
We get to see the inside perspective of being buried alive, so that's pretty terrifying.
Ooh, that was so claustrophobia inducing.
I don't even know if I could, even if it's just for like, we're gonna only put like maybe a foot of dirt on top of the casket or whatever, but we're gonna put you in this coffin with a camera, and I don't even know if I could do something like that. I'd immediately be like, okay, I need to get out. I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know how it was filmed, with a side cut out and everything like that. I'm sure that she was just looking at, but just even with one side open, too much. It's just so much, just such a tight space.
No, thank you. Chapter 8 is the cruel tutelage of Pai Mei. So now we get to see a little bit more backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Actually starts off with a little campfire. Bill's playing this song on his flute, showcasing a little bit more of his flute abilities. And he's almost telling like a folk tale before they go to sleep. So he's telling this like tale about Pai Mei and what he's about. If you listen, I think he even mentions here that he has this like mystical move that he calls the 5-point palm exploding heart technique. And that's when she's just like, what? That's not real. And he's just like, yeah, it's real.
He knows it. Mm-hmm.
So foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a throwaway line that you don't even really pay attention to it.
It is.
Because it sounds ridiculous. It doesn't sound like a real move.
Exactly.
5-point palm exploding heart technique. It sounds like a stupid made up name. We get to the location where Pai Mei resides and where he trains people. It's like some temple out in the wilderness, it seems like. So Bill goes up and lets Pai Mei know that I'm dropping her off. So I'll be back later to pick her up. And it's like some long staircase, right, that leads up. And he's just like, oh, you're going to be having a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, carrying water up and down.
Now it's really starting to feel like martial art movie, right? Like an old school martial art movie. Once you see Pai Mei, and sort of like stereotypical like kung fu master with like the long white hair and long white beard and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Long, very narrow.
Total hard ass.
Exactly.
Doesn't like her. And you know what? It now makes sense why she was so good. He went harder on her because she was a woman.
Oh.
He didn't like having female students apparently, and so I think he pushed her harder, but the fact that she never gave up won him over. Like he ended up having a lot of respect for her in the end.
Yeah.
Pai Mei is played by Gordon Liu. Just want to mention that. And I like how they first start off because she's saying like, I'm pretty good with the sword, but I don't really know much hand to hand. And so he's just like, oh, you think you're good with the sword? Go pick up a sword and see what you got. Try to hit me. And so, she's swinging at him and he's dodging it and he's able to like counterattack her. At some point, he's able to stand on the sword as she has it
thrust
extended outward. Yeah. Is he that light, or is it some like mystical power,
Right. That he can be that light.
he defies gravity. Needless to say, it's pretty brutal under his tutelage. He's teaching her this technique where she has to basically like punch a board from like an inch away. She has to be able to generate enough power to punch through like a 3-inch thick board from an inch away, and obviously her knuckles are just getting shredded, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that shit looked real. I was like, you see some skin like sticking to the board and stuff.
Yeah. Ooh.
My hand was burning just watching
That's it. Just fingertips to the board, and then boom, the distance between the fingertips to the knuckles.
When she's trying to eat her bowl of rice, like she has to still be able to use her hand, and her hand's all shaking.
For the chopsticks.
She's trying to just take a shortcut and just like grab it with her fingers, but he's just like, that's how dogs eat, you know? Like if you want to eat like a dog, you better eat that rice off the floor.
Yeah, throws it on the
If you eat at the table, you got to eat like a civilized person with some chopsticks. You know, he was a hard ass, but he's basically like training these killing machines, right? So he has to be able to put them through the ringer and know that they're going to come out okay. Like they're not going to give up halfway through.
Right.
If you want to learn the ways of Kung Fu, then you got to put in the work first.
Mm-hmm.
Carrying pails of water around and limited shelter and no rest. But, you know, she actually starts getting the technique down. Everything starts becoming a little easier for her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There are several callbacks to Pai Mei throughout volume 2. So it's not just, you know, she learns how to punch through a board, but it's so much more that she learns after that. Tarantino has been slowly feeding us the explanations that we're asking for. He's going to give us those payoffs a little bit later as well. So more to come on Pai Mei. But it cuts back to present day when she's buried alive, and the bride is able to use that technique, you know?
Mm-hmm. The 1-inch punch.
Has the flashlight that they provided her, and she's just kind of like aiming it upward, and then she's using that punch to basically bust her way out of that coffin.
Yeah, she finds a hollow place in the wood. She knocks until she finds a hollow spot, and then boom, just drives all the force. Mm-hmm. That punching force breaks the boards and
punches like through the dirt. Which is, I mean, it's important that she does it now because the dirt is still loose, right? It's not packed in.
Right.
It was also important to show that like the board is getting bloody when she was punching it, but it's not the fact that like your hand is calloused and it's like you can punch through steel or anything like that. But from a short distance, you're able to generate enough power to break through. And that's what she learned from Pai Mei.
Exactly.
And I like the way that this chapter ends because it just cuts to like some diner. And she's walking across the street, and you just see like this like cloud of dust, emanating from her, right? And she's walking, fully covered in dirt. She just sits down at the countertop, and she's just like, "May I have a glass of water, please?"
Nonchalant, as if like she didn't just crawl out of the food. Doesn't look like hell, you know?
Yeah, everyone's obviously shocked at like who this person is. Like, what the hell? You're coming in here covered in dirt?
Yeah.
Just politely, may I have a glass of water? So jumping over to chapter 9, titled Elle and I, we're about to see a pretty crazy showdown, and I'm excited for this part.
Yeah.
So we're back with Bud, right? So Bud is meeting up with Elle, and Elle is bringing some cash with her. I forgot what the amount was. Was it like a couple mil, something like that?
Mm-hmm. A couple mil.
So she's bringing that in a suitcase, and she's driving her like Firebird and all that stuff. So cool car.
Mm-hmm.
They're discussing like basically what he did and like how he bested the bride and like where she's at now. And he's telling her that she's at the grave of Paula Schultz. And the whole time Elle's just like, that is wild. You of all people were the one to actually take out the bride. So who the hell would have thought that? Because it's like even Elle doesn't respect him. You know, she doesn't like Bud at all.
Right.
And in some way, I felt like what she does to Bud is almost like her way of protecting Bill. Because Bill's always going to have a soft spot for Bud, I feel like. And so maybe that's how Bud is able to almost manipulate Bill. Mm-hmm. So she's just like, you know what? I'm just going to cut this dead weight here and now. And so that way Bill can finally be free of him.
Yeah. And gives him and kills him with the very thing that he seemed to always keep wanting more of.
Dang, the money. The money is what did him in.
Right. Because again, he didn't have purpose. He just wanted more money, which is weird because after saying that he had sold his Hattori, he told his brother that he had sold his Hattori Hanzo sword. if he so that makes me question, like, if he didn't want the money, if he wasn't just all about money, then at least this one thing he respected above all, the money that he could have gotten for it.
Yeah, you hawked a Hattori Hanzo sword for like $200. And that's what I liked about it too, is because that was like a swerve that they hit on you. It shows you that he actually did care about like some of it in some way, or maybe that was like his tie back to like his old life, and it maybe it was nostalgic for him, right? So he's just like, I'm not gonna get rid of this, especially because it had the engraving that Bill put on there,
right?
So yeah, gives him the suitcase, and he's ecstatic. He can't. It only takes him a second to start like really like digging in and like flipping through all the bills and rubbing it against his face or whatever. Little does he know that there's a surprise in there for him. There's an actual black mamba snake that was hidden in there and bites him in the face a couple times. He's like writhing on the floor of the kitchen. Elle is kind of
looking through a memo pad.
She was like, the black mamba snakes are actually pretty fascinating. I was looking up some facts about them, and she was like flipping through her notebook and just telling them like, with each bite they inject so much venom, and you only need this much for it to kill you, but they inject like so much more, and this and that. And the fact that he got 2 bites in the face, that's definitely a death sentence for him.
Exactly. Anywhere else on the body, but the face is like lethal.
The worst part.
Yeah, there's less time. If you get bit anywhere else on the body, like on the feet or whatever, you have X amount of time. But with the face, it's no go.
What a way to go out. That's how Bud dies.
Excruciating pain.
Yep. Not even like an honorable way or anything like that,
Yeah, in a miserable trailer as well.
And the whole time, Elle's just like, good riddance.
Yeah, gets to keep the money and the Hattori Hanzo sword.
She calls up Bill. She doesn't try to keep it from him. She calls him up and blames it on the bride. She said that the bride was the one that like ended up killing him. Now she's getting ready to leave. She gets straight up like drop kicked in the face.
Yeah, from across the
Liu Kang style.
Liu Kang.
And now we get to proceed to watch Elle versus the bride. Oh, just before that too, the bride's name is finally revealed. She's telling Bill like, so this is what happened to the bride. She's buried at the headstone of Paula Schultz, and that will be the final resting place of one Beatrix Kiddo. And it even cuts to that like quick scene where it shows the classroom and like the teacher's calling all the names, and she's like, Beatrix Kiddo, and then it shows like an adult Uma Thurman here. And of course, Beatrix Kiddo's codename is Black Mamba. Motherfucking Black Mamba.
Motherfucking Black Mamba. It's interesting he chose the name Beatrix, because Beatrice is one thing, but Beatrix is another. Beatrix is, I think it's the proper female. Anyway, Beatrix is an important character in Dante's Divine Comedy. So she's the one that he is seeking, Dante, and so Virgil helps him through the Inferno, and then he goes up through Purgatory to get to Paradise, and Beatrice is waiting for him, or Beatrix is in Paradise. Yeah, it's like the love of his life. Right. So interesting.
Dang, wild.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like Bill's name starts with the B, Beatrix, right? What'd you think of the name reveal?
Unexpected, and back then I hadn't really paid attention to it, although it's funny because I had just graduated from high school and we did read Dante's Divine Comedy in my senior year. I just wasn't paying that close of attention to it, I think, and it just didn't matter to me as much. But as time went on, for some reason, it just years went by, and I still remembered that story. We didn't read it in college either, necessarily. So yeah, interesting. Just Beatrix, special.
Yeah. Kiddo. And I want to say that even before this name reveal, Bill even calls her Kiddo, but you think of it as like, since I'm older than you, you're the kid.
Hey there, Kiddo.
Yeah, like a little nickname. But that was actually her name, Beatrix Kiddo. So now we finally get Beatrix versus Elle, and since they have that rivalry, as we assume, we finally get to see like both of their skills put to the test and see who's actually better. And this was a cool scene because they're pretty evenly matched. I'll give Daryl Hannah some credit here because, man, she looked pretty legit in this fight scene.
Yeah.
It looked like she could hold her own for sure.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But what I liked about it was because they're in close quarters, every time she kept trying to pull out the sword, she was like hitting the wall or like the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was struggling with that. And, Elle's trying to get the upper hand because she has a weapon and Beatrix doesn't. And so they're smashing through the flimsy walls of the trailer and all that stuff. Yeah. And they end up in the bathroom. Kind of like Sin City, actually. Flushes Elle's face in the toilet,
Right. And the only way she can breathe is by flushing it.
Yeah. Eventually, Elle gets the upper hand, boots her in the chest, pulls a sword out, and is like, oh, by the way, that beloved teacher of yours, Pai Mei? I was the one that killed him. I killed your master. I guess the way that she ended up killing Pai Mei, which is kind of crazy because, Pai Mei was such a powerful figure, and then Elle was the one that ended up taking him out.
Right.
What kind of started it was that she was like a shitty student to Pai Mei, and so he ripped out her eye, and that explains why she has an eye patch.
Mm-hmm.
So he does that little like pluck and like rips the eye out. The old man ripped out my eye, so I fucking poisoned him.
Mm-hmm.
She poisoned his fish or whatever, and so she was the one that ended up killing Pai Mei, and she didn't even finish her training because she took out the instructor.
Precisely.
And she's revealing all this as she's about to take Beatrix out with her own Hattori Hanzo sword.
Mm-hmm.
And so Beatrix is, she's desperate. She's looking around for a weapon, and she actually finds Bud's Hattori Hanzo sword, and she's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Opens it up a little bit and sees that engraved. It's like, to my brother from Bill.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're evenly matched, and they both have a Hattori Hanzo sword. Elle's even surprised, right? She's just like, what you got there? It's just Bud's sword. What? I thought you sold it. Well, I guess that makes him a liar now, doesn't it? They're going toe to toe, and I mean, don't really have much room to move. They're pretty much like in the hallway of this tiny trailer, and the swords are kind of like interlocked.
Mm-hmm.
When they're in close proximity like that, Beatrix pulls out an old trick that Elle is familiar with, and she plucks out her other eyeball.
They get close enough and then just pops it.
Just rips it out. That's why I like that they introduced Pai Mei early on, because they keep doing like callbacks to Pai Mei, and little by little they're showing other things that he taught her. So it's more than just that little like 3-inch punch thing.
Yeah.
Like he taught her how to do that little eye pluck, which he actually used on Elle.
Right. And it's like Bill sending her there was his own undoing at the same time. Sending her to Pai Mei. She wouldn't have known all these things had it not been for him.
How poetic is that both of her eyes get ripped out with the same technique?
And then she just fucking leaves her there in the trailer, in this desert, blind.
With Black Mamba.
With a Black Mamba chilling in the trailer. I don't even think she bothers to even close the door.
She doesn't.
She's just like, whatever. How is she going to drive anywhere? She's in the middle of fucking nowhere. She's in the desert. She's going to starve or thirst to death, or a snake's going to kill her. And then that's it. Just, you can die a slow death. That's kind of the biggest fuck you. There's no quick death. It's not a knife to the chest. It's not a chopping off of the head. I'm just going to let you die.
And even when she steps on the eyeball and you see the goo go between the toes, I'm just like,
oh gosh.
That blue eye is no more.
No, you're not taking that no way.
Well, now we're on the last chapter titled Face to Face. Starts with Beatrix traveling to, was it Osuna, Mexico? And drives into a tree. Well, she does that in real life, which was not part of the script.
Oh, no.
Did you hear about that?
During
this driving scene, I think it was supposed to be a stunt double, but Tarantino apparently said, like, it's fine. Go ahead and just drive it yourself. Like, you're good. Like, all we need to do is, like, have you drive down this dirt road. And so, yeah, she did. Uma Thurman was driving, and she goes down like the straightaway, and then it kind of like veers to the left a little bit. And so when she does that, she loses traction. And so she's like trying to like oversteer and overcorrect. and so it kind of fishtails, and she slams into like a palm tree or something.
Oh shit.
So she wasn't going like super fast, but it was enough to like rattle her. And I guess she had like problems years later from that injury.
Oh wow.
And that kind of soured her relationship with Tarantino.
Oh no.
Because they're supposed to be like a stunt double, and they weren't on set. I think it was supposed to be the stunt actress that he always uses, Zoe Bell. I think it's supposed to be her. He wanted to get this scene filmed, so he's just like, "Yeah, it's fine." You know, he was reassuring her.
Yeah.
Eventually convinced her. She wasn't comfortable driving it, but she still did it, and she ended up getting hurt. Ever since then, yeah, she hasn't appeared in another Tarantino film. It's unfortunate that happened.
Yeah.
And I think the footage leaked years later when that like Harvey Weinstein scandal came out. They told her that they wouldn't release the footage, Miramax. I think they said that they wouldn't release the footage to her unless she signed a document stating that she wouldn't blame them for like, or try to sue them for any of the events that happened during filming. And so she was just like, "No, fuck that. I'm not going to sign shit." So they never released the footage to her. When the Weinstein scandal happened, Miramax ended up finally releasing the footage. So that way, you know, they wouldn't get in trouble for that.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's really unfortunate, man.
So, yeah. She actually does drive into a tree, but that wasn't part of the script.
Right.
Beatrix is driving. She's in Mexico, and she's heading over to this location to talk to a man who raised Bill, this guy named Esteban, played by Michael Parks. And this was a pretty interesting character, you know, like this is almost like the calm before the storm. So he's kind of like a charming guy himself, and he runs a brothel. He's happy to talk to a pretty lady like Beatrix and all that, until she starts, you know, name dropping Bill, and he's just like, "Ah, shit."
Right.
Kind of similar to Hattori Hanzo, right? When she starts talking about Bill, that's when they start changing their tone. So Esteban's just like, "Ah, shit. What'd Bill do now?"
Yeah.
What was interesting about this was that Esteban had no problem telling her where Bill was. Bill was apparently in Mexico, you know, living not too far from where he was at. And he was like, "Yeah, here's his address." He even mentions that the reason why I'm telling you where he is because Bill would want me to tell you. Pretty interesting. Just seeing another dynamic as to why Bill is the way that he is. Someone like Esteban raised him.
Yeah. He has a really interesting way. He has a lot of charisma too. And he almost looked like he was on something. There was some way he was delivering the lines, so he was drawing things out very casually, almost just like, who gives a shit? We're here in Mexico. It's relaxed. No rush, you know. But yeah, so he gives her everything she needs to find Bill.
Yeah, after obtaining Bill's whereabouts from Esteban, you know, she starts heading over. And I think this is when Volume 2, the separate movie, was released, and it does that recap. I think this is where it takes place, is when she's driving over to Bill's after Esteban's. So yeah, she finds the place. This is a pretty dope spot too. Like, I don't know if it's a resort or if it's like a vacation home or something, but man, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
On premises valet parking and all that stuff. She's walking right in through the front door. Her Hattori Hanzo sword strapped to her back, and she's just like walking right in with some flip-flops on, about to fuck Bill up.
Yeah.
At this point, after everything she's been through, I don't think she's expecting anything. She's like, "What is Bill going to throw at me that I haven't faced already?" You know, she walks in, the door wasn't locked, and she hears something like in the backyard, so she heads that way. And as soon as she hits the corner, she finds out that her daughter is indeed still alive.
Bang, bang.
"I got you, mommy." BB is the daughter's name, played by Perla Haney-Jardine. And a cute little girl.
Yeah.
I like who they casted for BB.
Adorable. Absolutely. But she's got her gun drawn still. So she does have the sword on her back, but she's got a handgun. When she comes out into the patio area, her daughter pointing a gun at her was just like, it didn't take her daughter off, you know, like throw her off. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So she drops to the floor. She's like, "You've been shot." You know, Bill's like, "Mommy, you've been shot."
And then so she has a decision right here, you know. She could either just be like, what the fuck? I can't believe you're doing this. But no, she decides to play along and make it seem like everything's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Man, okay. So while overall I feel like I probably also enjoyed Volume 1 the most out of the two, this scene broke me. Holy shit. In this moment, I really empathized with
Oh
Beatrix,
man.
feeling the anger, the hatred, the disdain flush away with love
Yeah.
upon seeing BB for the first time.
Yeah.
This was a freaking wild scene. And man, she spent all this time away from BB thinking that she was gone.
Yeah.
That she was dead.
Just taking scalps. Yeah, just filled with rage, like you said, for the life that was taken from her, and for the pain that she had gone through. But now to have her daughter, and although she lost time, it's like this precious person. Yeah, that one cut me to the core. She does such a great job in that moment. Just that everything, you see it in her eyes, you see it on her face, and it just hit me like a wave.
It really does hit you like a wave. She's trying to stay composed, but man, Uma does such a fantastic job here. It's just her face that fills the frame.
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing like all these thoughts and emotions just like flowing through her in just a split second.
The trembling lip. It's just every bit of it. She just does such a great job.
And she thought she lost her. Now it's like she gets to kind of like have a second chance at that.
Yeah.
I love that big reveal.
It's great, but then it's also a mind fuck, and Bill let her think that she was dead the whole time. So it's also anger again, part of it, but just the joy that she's there. And so, of course, in that moment, following right after this realization, she's like, "Oh, right," and she kind of chokes back the tears and like stumbles over and falls down. She hams it up pretty good.
Yep. Oh, and then BB is like, "I'm just playing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really hurt you," and she's just like, "I know." Oh man, I love seeing that dynamic. I thought they had good chemistry, just like, because you know sometimes like you'll see child actors with the adult actors and it's like, I'm not really feeling like, you know, they're a family.
The connection ain't there. Yeah.
I mean, imagine being in this situation, right? You go there hell bent on killing this person. Now I gotta put your death aside for a little bit here, because it's like now you got something that's even more important,
right?
And so she wants to spend like as much time as she can with BB and wants to catch up and learn all about her. Mm-hmm. Even getting a little backstory about like how she first learned about death, the goldfish that she took out of the tank as he's making that sandwich.
Exactly.
Which actually that sandwich looked pretty good.
Actually,
I'm not gonna lie.
Damn good. It looked damn good.
These long-winded conversations that Tarantino loves to do, and I love seeing the reactions and like where the conversation's going. A lot of it too is like, it seems authentic. It seems this is really what they would actually be talking about, you know?
Yeah.
After BB is put to bed, watching like a freaking violent samurai movie, you know, she goes back downstairs and she wants to have a little discussion with Bill as to like how this happened, you know, and why he did all this. But before that, let me just shoot you in the leg.
A dart.
Yep. I think secretly, in a way, he was hoping that she would eventually wake up and find her way back to him.
Yeah. I mean, he's an older guy, and to have met somebody as marvelous, as incredible as Beatrix is, like, you don't find that just anywhere. And he's lived in many different places. I mean, they're fucking in Mexico and shit. So.
So yeah, now the conversation eventually kind of leads out into the backyard, and they're sitting at this table, right? And there's a pretty sick choreography that happens here, because they realize that, okay, now that we've had our little conversation and we're kind of getting some closure as to what happened and why it happened, all that stuff. Why did you leave me? Why'd you keep, why were you trying to take BB away from me, sort of thing? And that's what Bill didn't like. And Beatrix is like, well, I wasn't going to raise her in the world of assassins. Like, that's not an environment to raise a little girl. I want her to have a normal life, and I can't have a normal life with you. Now that they had everything off their chest and they got the answers that they needed, it was time to die. Beatrix, you know, she tries to reach for the sword, and I think Bill ends up knocking the sword away, doesn't he? He uses his sword to like send her sword flying, and then so he swings at her with just like the casing. she ends up like sheathing his sword into
That's
her
right.
case.
Yeah.
As she's sheathing the sword into her case, that's when she surprises him by hitting him with the 5-point palm exploding heart technique. Holy shit.
I was,
Mind blown.
dude, because they'd mentioned it and it was such a kind of throwaway thing. When it happens, it's such a joy. It's like you're like, holy shit, it's real.
Exactly.
Holy shit, we just saw it. And you kind of intuitively know what's happening as she's banging on his chest.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like gasps for air for a second, just and he's like, he taught you.
Honestly, I don't even think Bill himself believed that it was real. I think when he was telling that story at that campfire, he was telling it like a folktale.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but
I've asked Pai Mei to teach me and he never did, so I just assumed that it didn't exist. And then imagine her coming back using this fucking move on you that you thought didn't even exist, and the fact that like Pai Mei trusted her to teach her that technique but not Bill.
Yeah. And you could see that they were, I mean, when he was dropping her off with Pai Mei, he was bruised up or bloody or something like that. Remember, he had like blood on his lip or cut some on he had a few nicks on his face or something like that. And she's like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, just two old friends saying so. I don't remember what he said, but it was, he made light of it. But either way, it wasn't like they parted on great terms. Beatrix was Pai Mei's greatest student that he could trust with all of it.
Exactly. Taught her everything he knew.
Mm-hmm.
Not only was it real, but Bill got the privilege of seeing the effects of it firsthand.
Yeah. Will I die if I walk? I think it's 5 paces or something like that.
Yeah, it's like 5 steps. I like how after that big reveal for him, he's just like, shit, well, how do I look? You look ready.
Boom. Greatest line.
It was emotional, right? Because it's like you said, there was still love there.
There is. She still loves him. Yeah.
She was so fucking torn by having to use that technique on him because that's a guaranteed death.
Yeah.
And that meant that Bill was not going to be able to come back from this.
She sealed his fate. Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me that he taught you? And she's just like, I don't know. I guess I'm a bad person.
It just goes to show that she just didn't trust him either. In the end, she could have told him, but she had to withhold that information. She says that makes up, I guess I'm a bad person, but really I just never trusted you. And him proving that she couldn't trust him by him trying to attack her with, knocking away her sword and then him trying to stab her and then her sheathing it. It was an affirmation that this needed to happen.
I like too that the fight kind of concluded without the sword.
Yeah.
Because it's like, the whole time she's had to rely on it and it was so evenly matched. She decided to just take it a step further and like use this technique that I don't think she ever believed she was going to have to use, after Pai Mei taught her. She probably only used it once and it happened to be on Bill.
Right.
Dang. So poetic.
Yeah.
I love it. And with that last line, you look ready, fixes his shirt a little bit.
Yeah, I love that he does that too.
Gets up and then does his little death march.
Yeah. And then quietly dies.
Nice way to cap off the movie, cap off the series.
Yeah. Beautiful. The whole thing, man, just a beautiful locale as well. Her knowing her daughter's asleep in the room, like nearby, like all of it. She's lost a lot, but she's gained even more than she realized. What did Buck say about her? I keep forgetting the turn of phrase.
Oh yeah, the plumbing.
The plumbing don't work, right? Exactly. That means she can't have another kid. This is it. Just makes it more impactful, even.
Right. Beatrix, she grabs BB and it seems like they stop off at like a little motel or something, and we're seeing Beatrix's reaction in the bathroom as BB is just watching Saturday morning cartoons. It looks like,
yeah.
Beatrix is she's going through a lot. It's like so many emotions at one time.
Yeah.
She's sad, but she's so happy at the same time.
You're right. It's over. It's over. Finally, she can really give her daughter the life that she was hoping to be able to give her. She just had to fucking go through hell to do it. And she has the means to do it now. She doesn't have to necessarily marry this guy who owns a record shop. Not to say that was a bad thing per se. It was just, she doesn't need to rely on anybody for anything. She could just go back to owning a record shop if that's all she wanted to do with the millions that she had.
I think even while she was weeping, wasn't she saying thank you?
I think so.
She was clutching. What was it, like a teddy bear or something?
Yeah, yeah.
It was beautiful. Nice way to end it.
It really is.
Through hell and back.
Yeah.
And that is a wrap on Kill Bill. If you made it to the end of our podcast, then you were able to slice and dice your way through the crazy 88.
At the very least.
Any final thoughts or closing comments?
I just appreciate Uma Thurman even that much more. I feel like I fell in love with her in this movie in a way I hadn't allowed myself to when I first saw it. I was like, oh, I don't know what it was. I just I was hardened. There's some part of me that didn't want to be vulnerable, and so seeing her now, just and especially after seeing Gattaca, where she just, man, just the most elegant beauty, and then seeing her just cut up, bloodied, sweaty, dirt every just man, and the way that she held her own on the screen, and I mean, it's not like it's an Academy Award winning film in and of itself. I mean, not to say that he can't have Academy Award winning performances. I mean, look at Christoph Waltz for Inglourious Bastards, fantastic job. But I would say the range that she shows is something that I would never have known that she had in her. So I mean, he knew she did, and he cast her in this role for that reason. And I think that the last two scenes really show like her full range. The last four scenes, because when she sees her daughter for the first time, that hits in a way that it's not fake. A contrived performance would not feel that way for us.
Did your eyes well up? Because mine
Oh,
did.
dude, mine did big time. I was like, had that shudder breath going. I was like, are they gonna feel the chair rocking from me from fighting back some tears? But yeah, that.
Yeah, you felt what she felt.
Yeah, and then her in the bathroom, and then just feeling it all, man. And that's the first film in a long time that I feel like I let myself feel it all and not try to fight it away, not try to tell myself to think something else so I didn't feel it, but like really like opened my heart to feeling everything that she was feeling in that, and in doing so I feel like I was rewarded by her performance in feeling this sort of catharsis that you feel at the end. So yeah, that's my thoughts and my 2 cents. What do you think?
I loved her performance. I thought Uma Thurman, she surprised the hell out of me, because I thought she was great in Pulp Fiction, but there's no fucking way, judging by that performance, that I would have ever thought she was capable of doing something like this. I trust Tarantino when it comes to his vision. What he's able to draw out of people is always astonishing. Like, it always surprises the hell out of me. You know, he was able to do that for Michael Madsen. He's able to make Michael Madsen a fucking like A-list actor in his movies, you know?
I mean, he resurrected careers from the dead. John Travolta, Bruce Willis, both weren't killing it at that point in their careers. They had at a certain point, but it was faltering. And then Samuel L. Jackson, who had been in Coming to America, I think he's the one who
The Robber.
The Robber, exactly. So from that bit part, and then to kill it in Pulp Fiction the way he did. No, Tarantino sees things. He can really, he understands talent, and he brings the best out of them. I think he brings the best out of everybody in Inglourious Bastards as well. I mean, yeah, the man has an amazing talent for telling a story and for finding the right people to tell the story for him.
Oh yeah. Say what you will about his movies, they may not be for everyone,
Sure.
But I think, man, it's just the way that he's able to either tailor characters to actors' strengths, or maybe draw these performances out of actors that they weren't previously able to showcase. Either way, I think it's fucking genius. I love that aspect of all of his movies.
Yeah. What a trip. What a beautiful experience, dude. I'm so grateful that I got to see that with you, and it was just a fun night, and to relive it again. It feels like a huge gift to have been given, to be not even, I wouldn't say re-gifted, but to have this fresh experience as a human being, with something that was both familiar and foreign because it had been so long since I'd seen it. There were things I vaguely remembered and a lot that I didn't.
I'm a big Tarantino fan, and I was so excited to do this one because I already did my top Tarantino movie with Pulp Fiction, and so now I get to do my second favorite Tarantino film in Kill Bill. So yeah, I was so stoked to do this movie, and it was a blast to revisit, relive it, experience it in a different way, right? With both movies being combined and having extended scenes. You know, I will reiterate that I don't know if this is necessarily the most approachable way of watching it. I'm sure it'll be released in this fashion for like a physical movie or something, but I know most people can't sit through a 4-hour movie. If they struggle with 3 hours, I'm fine with 3 hours, but I understand if people are like 4 hours, I'm out. I can't do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame it. And that's why I think it's even more special because it's like a sort of, I don't know. It's something that few people will ever necessarily do or want to do. And it's sort of like we went down that path together, and it was really, really fun and savored. I savored it all. I savored every minute that I could. I tried so hard not to be too distracted with thoughts about, oh, this, that, or the other thing. It was more just like, wow, this is so fucking cool. This is so badass. So yeah.
Well, are you watching anything lately, film or TV?
Yeah, let's see. I I haven't finished. I started watching Persona, Ingmar Bergman. It's like one of his greatest films, they say. So I started to watch that. I just didn't have, I was so late. It was like me trying to watch it at like midnight and trying to pay attention to it. I just was curious. I just really wanted to see some of the shots, and bro, it's unlike anything I've seen before. The shots he picks remind me a little bit of Andrei Tarkovsky, and they spoke highly of each other. Anyway, it was beautiful. So I'll say I can't wait to go back and I'll tell you about what I think about that film, and maybe we need to cover that at some point. But the show that I'm watching, it's a surprise to me, White Lotus. I watched the first season, and I'm like 3 episodes into the second season. It just gets you. I don't know. I don't know what they do.
Well, for me, I watched Wicked for Good in theaters recently.
Okay, how was that?
I thought it was solid. Still great performances, like great vocal performances during the songs, right? Even that guy, the love interest guy, like he has a great voice.
His name is Jeff Goldblum, dude. What the?
Jeff Goldblum. Jeff freaking Goldblum.
Jeff mother.
That guy, I don't even know what his name is, but he kind of reminds me of David from Legion, that actor.
Oh, dude. God dang it. So he's okay.
Overall, I think the first one had a little bit better pacing, a little bit more memorable songs. But Wicked for Good was still a solid movie. I just feel like the first one is probably a little bit better.
Yeah, I had kind of heard the same.
The other movie I saw recently was Avatar Fire and Ash, also in theaters.
How dare you? How dare you?
In 3D.
How was that?
I saw in 3D. Gorgeous movie. Like all those Avatar movies are just visually stunning. Visual masterpieces. What was kind of unfortunate about it was just kind of more of the same. Like it didn't really do much to push the story forward or like introduce a new setting. It was just kind of like the second movie rehashed.
Oh god.
At least the second movie was like a totally different setting. Like they went out of the forest to the water. So that was gorgeous. It's just kind of the second movie all over again.
Evidently it's the most expensive. I think it's the most expensive movie ever made to date.
Wow.
My homie worked on it. He got creds. Shout out to Brandon Minton, my high school homie. Yeah, he worked on it. Did some reshoots at the end.
Okay.
And he's like, wasn't even expecting to have a credit, he thought. And I was like, why wouldn't you? But no, he got a credit on that. And yeah, he said he went to the premiere and enjoyed it. And I was surprised because I was like, he had told me, I'm not really into it. I saw the first one. It was okay, whatever. He's like, I'm just not really into. I think it was more the experience and all that stuff.
Well, with that said, you can find us wherever you normally get your podcasts. New episodes drop on the first Saturday of each month, 5 a.m. Pacific. If you like what you heard, leave us a like, comment, or subscribe. Thank you all for listening and joining Michael and myself. This has been Aflixionados Podcast, episode 64, Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair. And we'll see you all next time.
Late.